What's up, Street Thugs? Welcome to Sunday's Farmathon. How's everybody doing? My green screen working okay? Seems like it is. Should be alright. I hope everybody's feeling good because there's a lot of colds and flus going around. Oh, speaking of which, I was going to take some Allegra and some Sudafed. I've been, for the most part, fortunate this season. But I mean, I do have a little bit of a allergy thing going on. But it's like nothing big. I don't have like the swollen face and the pains and all that stuff. That's when it's just miserable. And when that happens, I usually just stay in bed. Like, I'll call in to work. I was like, nope, can't come in. I'm sorry. I feel like shit. Uh, so we are in Pocket D, so we get started here shortly. I won't get anything going yet until we start filling up a team. So if you are in chat and you would like to join, go ahead and send me a message. I'm going to wait for a few minutes and make sure we have enough people before I start like asking, looking for group. STP. Chafing Burn? That's a funny name. Performance review. Vicky Valancourt. Nice. What's going on, Punisher? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy Farmathon Day. I'm just going to dub Sunday that, okay? Happy Farmathon Day. My wife is studying for her test next Friday, so she probably won't be helping us today. Unless she decides to take a break. Good morning, Mr. Rasta. Mr. Tony. You finishing your tune? You know what? I got a couple messages that a few people were starting new characters to bring. I'm down with that. That's cool. I got I got some new stuff today too. So after the stream, I've got to upgrade my computer for my YouTube stuff cuz YouTube making videos takes up a lot of space. It's cuz video files are massive. I didn't realize how big they were. I figured, maybe 500 megabytes whatever. No, they're like 20 gigs. It's ridiculous. So in the last 2 months, because yesterday was officially 2 months since I've started this channel, and I have deleted so many hundreds of gigabytes of footage just to make space. And I have over a terabyte of videos on my computer, which is only 2 terabytes to begin with. So I ended up getting a 6 terabyte external hard drive for storage, and then I also bought a terabyte SSD. So today I need to start doing the purge. I gotta like transfer all my files over that I want to keep over to the external drive, and then start the process of purging everything and transferring over my BIOS to the new one. That's gonna be fun. We'll see how that goes though. I won't do it myself. My daughter's the IT person. I don't I don't mess with stuff like that. I try not to, cause I'm more like a sledgehammer. I break everything. I'm very hard on stuff. I can barely use a regular pencil because I'm constantly breaking it. And I love mechanical pencils, but I break them, the lead, so easily. When I write, I'm like digging in. I'm not just a bull in a china closet. I take a sledgehammer to everything. Welcome everybody who is new to the stream. I know a lot of people are trickling that said they were making new characters. So, but if you are wanting in on the farm, jump in game and send me a message. I am holding a spot for Tony and Rasta. There was another person I know for sure who wanted to come in. They were also working on their character. I had some questions about server transfers because it says you only have 5. But it looks like it resets, and I think it either resets every day or every week. But I did one a couple days ago to help somebody on a different server, and then the next day I was back to 5 again. So that's kind of nice. So pretty much you have unlimited server transfers for the most part. And it's instant, and it takes everything. It's not like back in on live where you lost everything, you had to start from scratch as far as like your inventory or your money or everything transfers. It's awesome. Hello, how's it going, STP? I've actually used my old PC as target practice. Yeah, see, it's you would think it's easy, but see, the problem is I used to do that stuff and have no problem with it, but I had nothing but problems every time I did it. I was too rough on something, and I broke something. I just was too hard on everything, so I said, "Screw it, I'm not doing it anymore." Like I have the worst luck when it comes to RAM, and I've added RAM to my computer so many times, and every single time it results in a blue screen of death. And I have 16 more gigabytes to add to my computer, and I was like, nope, I'll wait. I'll let my daughter do it. I don't know if I'm too rough on them or what. I mean, it can't be that I'm just that unlucky that I just keep getting bad RAM. It's inconceivable. It just can't be. I mean, I'd have to have some seriously bad luck for that. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just too rough on them or what. If it involved me hitting with a hammer, I'm there. If it's a delicate touch, if I was a doctor, you'd have more trauma from bruising because I'd be just too rough on you. Who is STP? STP, are you in chat? Because if not, I need to talk to you in game. That person's name was Reba Dog. Boomtown Betty. Whoa, Boomtown Betty. Wham blam. Well, I've actually used my old PC as target practice. I want to know exactly what that means. Like, did you actually set it up and shoot it? I have so many like full PCs in my garage. There should be. My daughter may have cannibalized them because she'll often, hey, you got any, yeah, any computers? Yeah, and then she'll like go in there and like steal parts from them. MTC, is that, are you STP? If you are, welcome to the team. Welcome to chat. Welcome to the stream. I didn't want to sit there and like talk to you because sometimes I forget. Not everybody on the team may not be in the channel, so I'll be talking to you, and then I'll realize, oh shoot, they're not even here, and they're probably thinking this guy's not answering me. Yes, I have a portable crafting table. I also made some new icons. So you can see this one right here. This is my base teleporter for my, well, my base teleporter, but it's the instant one where you just instantly go in there. I made a little house looking. I think it's an arrow with a star. And then I made my auction house one into a dollar sign with macro images. I love macro images. So much fun. What level are you, Rasta? Actually, here, go this way. Rasta is 37. All right. Already crafting. I'm going to probably give it a couple more minutes and then I'll start inviting. I do feel like I need to leave a couple spots though. Maybe we'll just grab two. You just change your Google name a lot? Identity crisis? You got a maple leaf. Are you up in Canada? Do you have a lot of snow? I watched a video of this morning from Newfoundland, and oh my gosh, it was a 24-hour time lapse over 30 seconds where they just went from like just a little bit of snow to you couldn't even see out their door. You don't have your own SG base? I can give you the macro to mine. It should let you go straight to mine. To auto toggle haste and flaming heal without um you could probably rotate one back and forth. Um I know there's ways to set up programs to code it so that they constantly do it. I don't mess with them. Um I knew someone who actually built a program and it literally played the game for them. It wasn't like set auto burn and farm. He had built a program that it would like jump to a mob. It would kill everybody in the mob, look for another person, jump to that group, kill that mob, look for another mob and jump, and it would like go through and cycle through salvage. If his salvage was too maxed out, it would delete like the stuff that had too much of the whites, the crap. Recipes, it would drop junk recipes if his recipes were full. It was a full program that he coded, and he wanted to give it to me, and I'm like, nope, because I mean, it's full on messing with the files in City of Heroes. And I was like, no, I don't want to do anything that's going to be messing with the files in the game. I it's like I said, I have bad luck, something bad would happen. I would totally screw something up. But he was making like 20 purples a day doing that. Just farming the hell out of it with his auto program. Minus 30 Celsius though, right? You use Celsius or Fahrenheit? Or are you using Fahrenheit for my American brain that's has to do everything different? Thank you, Rev. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Team invite sent. Free for all. Yeah, I know who we had a member in JD with the big guy to put a stop to it. Celsius, yeah. In-game email. I did. I actually did last night. I went through a couple. Did I miss something? What did I miss? Did I miss anything? That's crazy. I seen people do that with the hot water, and it just turns into like fog. Tony, there you are. Yeah, I'm saving you a spot, Tony. I was gonna start inviting randoms, but I figured I'd wait a little bit just to give people in the stream a chance to actually get in. Whoa, Black Betty, blam blam. You gave me a purple? I don't know if I saw that. I'll have to double check. But you don't have to give me your purples. By all means, keep them. That's one of the reasons we're doing this, because not everybody has to be 50 to be in here. You can just be farming just to get money and goodies. It's all good. Oh no, the Stone Temple Pilots died. I know, I go right for Stone Temple Pilots rather than oil. I actually saw Stone Temple Pilots in concert once. It was pretty cool. It was back in the day when I was, I think I was 18, and my buddy had brought weed, and at the time I was smoking, and I had a pack of cigarettes on me, so they made me freaking stick it in there, and we like cut apart a cigarette and like put it in there, and like so it was like all smooth and long and cylinder, and able to drop it in there, so it looked like a cigarette. And of course, when we get to the door, it's like I want to, they are patting you down, and he wants to see inside he wants to see my pocket, so I pull up my pack cigarette. He goes, open it, and I had a lighter in there too. So he looks there and kind of thumbs through and says, okay, you're good. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna give me buzz. I'm 19 years old. I'm gonna freaking go to jail. 18 or 19, I don't know. It was shortly after high school, so I think I was 18. But yep, I was gonna go down. That place reeked of weed though. I don't know why I even worried about it. It was. I don't smoke weed. I've never had the develop. I don't drink alcohol really either, because I just didn't like the taste. I don't like the feeling of being out of control. So I've had my moments with it, and it was just like, nope, this is freaky. I don't like it. But that whole place just reeked of weed. I was like, I don't know why I was so worried. Everybody's bringing it in. It was shortly after that too that I actually had like my first real experience with weed, and I was driving like 4 hours from San Francisco to home along the Pacific Coast Highway. Oh man, and it was funny because it was my uncle and I. We were cracking up. We were just laughing so hard. Yes, Fire Red Brute. Indeed, indeed. Yeah, we were laughing so hard. It was such a good fun. But once the like the I don't know, the giggles ran out, paranoia set in because hang out with you will change that except the weeds. um, we're cruising down the road and we see a sign that says no gas for like 35 miles, and we had like eighth of a tank, and we instantly freaked out like we were gonna run out of gas. And for the next 35 miles, which was probably a half hour at least, we didn't say a word. We were freaking out. I'm driving, and we're like in full panic mode. And the only thing we could really say to each other is, "How much gas we got? How much gas? You think it's gonna make it?" And oh, Tony's trying to get my attention. Let me get Tony in here. And it was funny because now when I look back, I was like, oh my god, we had lots of gas. We were driving my little Ford Escort. I mean, we could have went to back to San Francisco and back on eighth of a tank. I got such good gas mileage on the little car, like 45 miles to the gallon. We were good, and it was crazy how paranoid we got though. Just full on panic mode. We were like trying to plan out our what we were gonna do if we got stranded out there. Yeah, Ross will do it. He lives up in the snow too, but he's got a little outdoor tent with a heater, and hell, I'm surprised he hasn't set up his computer out there inside of his little tent. Freaking computer would be all wheezing and coughing. Yeah, he's got himself a smoke tent. Yeah, that was the most stressful 30 minutes of like it was just pure terror. And then we finally hit a gas station, and the eighth of a tank had barely even moved. I was like, I don't know why we were just so panicky. It was so funny. It was my first time ever really smoking weed too. And he's like, "You okay to drive?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." Cuz we pulled over at cuz we were driving down the what's called the PCH, and it's the Pacific Coast Highway, Highway 1, and it goes all the way down the coastline in California. And we thought we'd take it all the way home, which is a much longer drive, but it was like the scenic route. And at one point, I don't know how the subject came up, but he had weed on him, and he wanted to smoke. And he's like asking me like probing questions. You ever smoked weed before? No. Would you? Probably. If I was like at a party socially, I'd probably do it. And he was like testing me, right, to see where I stood. And eventually I was like, "Oh my god, I got weed! Don't tell your aunt. I got weed on me right now. You want to smoke it?" I'm like, "Sure, let's do it." So Lucy, why are you moaning at the door? So we started looking for a place to smoke it. So we ended up like pulling over on the coast, and there's like at this part of the beach, I guess, there's like all these giant rocks. So we went and like climbed up on the rocks, and like inside the rocks was like a little alcove where the rocks are around us, so we were like completely covered. And so we went in there and lit it up. He only let me take a couple hits off of it, and but so then we were like hanging out there for a while. I was like, "All right, you ready? Get back on the road. Are you okay to drive?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good." Oh man, that's my first time, and he had some good shit. I was gone, dude. That's probably I couldn't see little goblins. That's LSD, but still. We had a good time. We laughed so much. I learned stuff about my aunt and uncle I just should not have known. I was like, whoa, you're not supposed to know that kind of stuff about loved ones. It was pretty funny. But it's a fun memory. Clear some of those out there. So how is everyone else doing? I don't have to be the one always doing all the work, all the talking. Just in case you might not want to hear what I have to say. Rasta, I recorded our Jackbox party a little differently, so I didn't lose the footage like I have in the last couple weeks. My first time we smoked weed, an ounce of weed between three people. I don't know how much an ounce is though. You'll have to give me a reference. Is that a lot? I have no idea. Is that like like Snoop Dogg sized blunts? Or it's like a whole burrito? Or as Cat Williams says, a freaking uh, a weed marathon, which is speak freely. Yeah, Ross, the last video I put up, I just had my video on there. I got Daz made me so nervous. He's like, I'm gonna get fired. I'm like, oh crap. Now you're not even comfortable putting him on there. And ounces what people will buy specifically for the 420 holiday. So they just want to get just baked thoroughly, or twice baked like a potato. Oh my gosh, I saw something yesterday. It was called an Irish Rubik's Cube. It was a potato that had been cut up in four parts, and but it was all still together. I don't know how, and you could do it like a Rubik's cube to get it back to the original potato form. It was hilarious. I kind of want to see if I can make one. An ounce of dirt weed. That's how my brother starts his mornings. Gets up, has his coffee and weed. How's it going, Sorty? Did you you said you were gonna start something, you were gonna run something. Did you get it going? 'Cause you were about to put something together. That's awesome that you were able to pick up for PGP or PG last night and do the trials. Did you say you said you didn't oh yeah, you didn't finish uh double D because not everybody was level shifted, which is probably a good thing. If you had beat that without PG with his community, I'm sure he would have been super happy for everybody, but on the inside, he'd be a little cut. He'd be a little wounded. I was doing a patron arc for my tanker, was respecting it. You know what? I need to. I'm working on a character on. I don't know, another server, because for some reason I just have to have characters on all servers. I usually end up helping somebody on a different server, so then I go end up making a new character, and then I get addicted to it, and I gotta like get it all set up and completely specced out. So in order to finish it, though, I have to do the patron powers. So I'm gonna be doing that too pretty soon. You were the new PG. That would be. That would not be. I don't know. You got quite a time difference. That would throw off your whole schedule. Besides, you're always in bed during his streams. You're just gonna play from your bed. I guess it's not a horrible idea. Just be in bed streaming. Hey, this is Sorty. This is, you can call it Sorty and PJs. This is Sorty and PJs coming you back at you with my from my bed. Your whole community be called the sleeper cell. Hot load. Come on in, man. Sorty sleeper cell. Because that's, everybody can pretty much count on that on in the PGP. Is Sorty here? Yeah, he's here. He's lurking. He's asleep. He's not feeling good. Punisher, that's pretty much what it comes down to. Is it's nice because I often get invited to go help people on different servers, or help them on their event, or sometimes they'll have costume contests that are based around my original Comic-Con farm idea, and so they'll have me come like guest judge, and then I'll end up helping them farm and stuff. And so rather than just having to constantly transfer my character, it's just nicer to have a farmer on all servers, because one, if you can build up your Empyrean merits, you can transfer them over to your main server where you need them. That's I mean, that's one reason to have more than one farmer. Is once you hit 99 on one farmer, you can't really do much else with it as far as Empyrean merits goes. Can't level anymore. So at that point, all it's doing is, an influence farmer, because anything beyond vet level 99 is just for cosmetics, just an aesthetics. I was replacing energy mastery with moon mastery. Just let me up my resist about 5% all around, since my divots are already soft capped. It's a sword and breakfast. Swordy sleeper cells. Careful, I worked for Homeland. Don't make me report you. I'll be right back. I need to do something for the wife for a little bit. I message you when I get back. No problem, Tony. Not a problem. Last night when I was, what was I doing? I don't remember, but I had, somebody sent me a link. They were, they were streaming my Comic-Con farm on the We Have Cake server, which still has the original Comic-Con farm, the original superhero TV actual costumes, not the community costumes. And so they were there, like live streaming it, and in the background they were playing, because they were doing the original Bloody Rainbow, and they were in the back. They had the "Is Somewhere Over the Rainbow" music playing in the background, which was really cool. So I was sitting there watching it, and I kept like singing to it. I started singing, and then I would get scolded from the wife because she was trying to read because she was studying, and I kept doing it. I kept forgetting, and I just got swept away and did it again. While I was streaming, she started singing. I looked over, and she's like, "Oh, sorry." It's like, see, not so easy, is it? Thing is, I don't even T4 some of my carnage builds and my farmers just because the farmer is fast. Without, yeah, I don't either. That's why I'm happily single. I I don't T4 everything on my farmer either. I think it's like ageless. You definitely want on tier 4, but there's a couple. It might be interface that I'm thinking about. There's a couple of them where it's just not necessary. It's actually better not to because you can well, I mean, obviously it would be better with a T4, but it is what you get out of the T4 doesn't benefit you at all. So I don't even bother. So wasting your Empyrean merits to get that stuff is I just don't even do it. But at the same time, having another farmer to farm Empyrean merits and to farm vet levels pretty much is really nice. That way you can spend those Empyrean merits somewhere else. I need some more reds over here. Do, 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 do. I many times I'll forget my setup, and I will somehow be getting XP again. I'm like, why did I just level? And then it's like, ah, oh, dang it, because I've got the influence this one influence farm setup where you're not supposed to have your XP on, or you are, and you instead you don't get XP, you just get influence, and then I'll go to a different one, and you need a different setup. All of a sudden, I'm getting XP again. I'm like, damn it. And maybe Judgment somewhere. Lord Destiny and Hybrid, I find are all the ones I end up T4ing. And maybe Judgment somewhere down the road. Yeah, Judgment's a decent one to tier 4. Some of them you get like bigger bonuses and less diminishing returns on the T4. But then there's some that's just like, it just gives you like an extra modified power that's really small. 25% chance. And I'm like, I don't need that. What's going on, Kip? Voodoo. There is room in the farm if you want to join. I decided not to open it up to just randoms. No, I don't need reds. I just need to. Honestly, I don't really pay too much attention to my inspirations. Every now and then, they'll like pop in my head. Oh, I should check them. But it's not part of my rotation to actually do it. Just because I'm usually distracted. I don't worry about it too much though. Hey Punisher, does is your character in here? Atomic Blazer? I feel like I just killed it. I feel like I just killed Punisher's character. I was like, wait a minute, that looks familiar. Do 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 do. There we go. For some reason, my endurance was off. I added so many procs to this build just so I can have just a touch more damage. But man, it zaps my endurance pretty bad. I mean, it's completely manageable. Just means I have to work a little more. It's not a big deal, but sometimes I do like just having just full-blown damage available. Or be completely survivable. Not have to think about it. Which is, I don't know, I kind of feel like is lazy. I want to be a lazy tank. not have to worry about damage. I just want to stand there and taunt. I don't want to have to press any powers for my abilities to work. I just want to stand there and taunt. Which even if I was a lazy tank, I wouldn't just stand there and taunt. I'd be... Why did I get a badge? What the hell was that? What was that? I couldn't care less badge? Which one is that? No matter how amazing, stunning, or incredible your actions, nothing seems to inspire you. Okay. Why did I get that? That's funny. It can't be a damage because I imagine I would have reached the damage a long time ago for the third and final badge. Couldn't care less. That's hilarious. That's how your tanking works, Sorty? That's because you tank from bed. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna imagine Sorty in bed with like a nightcap and like a Ebenezer Scrooge freaking robe. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Hall of Farm. That's cool. Nice. Yes, I ignore my drops all the time. Well, and I'll go through and I'll use my bind to kind of combine them. But yeah, I don't really pay too much attention to them. Did I turn that off? No. Let's go talk to him real fast. Finish. Leave. Yeah, if I was desperate for damage, I'd probably be paying more attention to the inspirations. But at this point, it's just bonus. I mean, bonus is good, but it's not like mandatory. Sorry, I'm not old. That would be, now that you say that, that would be funny. A young man in an old man's PJs. That'd be really funny. Hey, what's wrong with that? I do the same thing. I'm 17 years old. So, are you new to City of Heroes, Sorty? As far as new, like in the last year, or did you play in the as a wee lad when it was live? We lost Tony because he's AFK helping his wife. If I took a picture, you wouldn't believe it. Why wouldn't I believe it? I could believe it, possibly. I think Punisher just admitted he's a believer. Made a very similar influence farm using this same map. Has an interesting twist to it. Interesting. I like twists. I've been wanting to make like a horror map, but like an actual arc, not a farm, like an actual gaming arc. But I want to find a way to like make like a horror story. I played live. I didn't really get into the stuff you considered normal content like TF such. Okay, you must elaborate now. What did you get into? Mostly just ran around and did missions with my dad. My daughter played too, but she didn't do anything either. I guess in a way she didn't do normal content too. She always made characters that had little kittens on her shoulder, and then she would be an Atlas and she would just talk to people. Just stand there and talk to people. She loved her little kitten shoulders. It was funny because when when we were on the private server, they gave you all your characters back, your from your original accounts, and I had multiple accounts, so I gave them all the accounts, and they put all of my characters on my one secret server account, and suddenly I'm looking at all the old characters my daughter had made with the little kittens on the shoulders and the wings, and I was like, "Oh my god, look at that!" My son's first character that he'd ever made. Ooh, horror. What's going on, CX Forever? How's it going? Did you help Sorty out last night trying to take down Double D? Yeah, I've been wanting to do like some sort of like a horror one for a while, but PGP was mentioning it a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, I'm totally gonna do that. But I noticed he started one because he actually showed his mission arcs recently. They're not published; they're just in test mode. But he shared it on the stream, and I'm like, oh, he started it because he had brought up an idea that we had both been talking about, which because somebody else made one, but it wasn't what we expected. So he started it, and I was like, oh, he did it because I was gonna make one, and he started it. I was like, nice. So I'm interested to see how he does that one. But it all started with he was doing a Gotham Under. How's it going? I saw you were in here earlier, but then you disappeared. I also played till shutdown. If he was here with us, he'd be playing again too. I let's see, was it last week? No, it was a couple weeks ago. Um, Positive Gamer was streaming, and he was doing like random mission architects, random missions, and of course, they kept running into farms because AE is full of farms. But one of them, it was called um, going in or in colon something, the super colonoscopy, and the description said that they were going to go in and somebody had eaten something they weren't supposed to, so they were going to go in and you have to go inside his colon and save it. And so I'm like, oh my god, that sounds like it could be really cool because there are a lot of maps that are very like biological looking, or they look alive. And I was like, that could totally work as like inside the body. And he went in, and it's just a bloody rainbow knockoff on the meteor shard. I was like, oh, yes, Kip, we are in Pocket D on Torchbearer, but it was totally just the Shiva shard, and I was like, oh, bummer, because I instantly had like a lot of ideas that where that would work, and I was like, I'm totally gonna make that, and then like the next week, PG had already started it. Positive Gamer already started it, and you shrink down and you go inside someone to go help. I was like, oh, he's got it going already. That's cool. So I wanted to make something like that, but I don't know. I have another idea for a horror one too that I want to try out. So the trick is though is making it very like trying to figure out a way to do a twist, trying to figure out a way to make it work as a horror but still be a fight that makes sense. You're the only non-brute. Oh wow, I just noticed that too. Whole bunch of brutes. Brutitious. Brutalicious. Warcut. Okay. The Vampire Lords is awesome. I don't remember that one. I don't think. I did try doing a vampire one. I never published it. It was on live. It was about the same time the City of Villains had come out because I had made a vampire version of my own character. I was like, oh, I could put a story on it along with this one. I was outside securing my nephew's camping trailer. There's a weather warning because of extreme winds where I live, and I'm about to drive in the wind. Um, I was actually going to ask you because I know Canada. I mean, I've seen all kinds of videos from Newfoundland of like their snow. They got like, I mean, it's not. I don't know how much snow it is, but from the video I watched, up against their door, it was like 6 feet high. But I mean, that's because it was on the side, so it's probably not actually that tall. But it was enough to cover the cars, so it could probably. Actually, in the video, that was probably easy, like 7 or 8 feet. But I mean, I think the snow got 6 feet high. It was past his door. When he opened the door, they had to dig holes and tunnels out because it was way above the door, which the doors are 7 feet. So I don't know. Maybe it was up there. How many brutes are here with solid, thick mustaches, though? Huh? Yeah. Oh wow. I don't know if you can hear my wife. She says that she knew someone in Pennsylvania that they went was I think it was school or something, and the second floor there was a door like a Winchester Mystery House door that went to nowhere. And when the winter came and it snowed, she realized why, because it snowed so much that when you had those crazy snow banks on the side of the house, you had to go to the second floor, open the door, and walk out. That's how you got out of the building because the bottom floor is completely covered. That's crazy. The homecoming team gave you a mustache slider during character creation. They did not. Please tell me, please tell me that's true, because that is hilarious if so. I don't know why they would, but that is funny if it's true. I'm off just to pop in and say hi. Thank you, COX Forever. I appreciate you stopping by. Take care. I will probably see you probably tomorrow night. Love all the AE you made, but why the Matrix and Cave should be City or Boomtown in real world as the week said, but that's me being picky. Keep the work. I don't have a Matrix one. I have I have checked out the Matrix one, but it's not mine. It would only be fair. Still no extend slider from. I know, right? The female characters get a boob slider, but we don't get an extend slider. That would be funny. uh, that would be interesting equality at work. Yeah, Pierre, I did not do the Matrix one. I did do it recently though in the cave. We did it last Sunday actually because we were checking out other people's farms and running them. But I did not make that one. I wonder if he's getting content violation. Um, yeah, I wonder if the Terminator one and the Matrix one are getting content violation complaints. I made a D&D mission during live where every enemy had stealth or invisibility and renamed it Assault of the Invisible Stalkers. The bosses were actual stalkers. That would definitely be invisible stalkers, that's for sure. Man, I'm not looking forward to purging my computer. Because I am rough with everything. Well, and my external hard drive, it's 6 terabytes, so it actually has to be plugged in. It's a beast. And I just realized this morning I don't have any more plugs over here. My surge protector is maxed out because I have my computer here, the printer, I've got the TV, I've got, well, the TV's got its own surge, it should. I've got the router. I don't know where I'm going to get an extra plug. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to get an extra plug. It's a beast, but I need a big one. I need a lot of storage for all these damn videos, so I don't have to keep deleting them. Just I hope I don't have any issues because I do see all the time about people on YouTube with their videos stored on a storage and then the storage dies or gets corrupted and they lose everything. So, hope not. But my bigger fear is my channel gets deleted for some reason and I go and delete all my files and then my channel gets in trouble for something and then they delete all my videos and then I lose everything, which is why I haven't deleted my footage because you never know. Plus every now and then I do use it for different things, compilation stuff like that. You never know when you're going to need something. I'm turning into a pack rat with my footage. A hoarder. I'm a digital hoarder. Is that a thing? A DH? Digital hoarder? Not a designated hitter. A digital hoarder. I said DH for digital hoarder, and then instantly Rasta starts twitching. Rasta's a big sports guy. I did love people. The only AE missions I ever made were just me, Mary, Sue, and my own tunes. But I did love sending people to find my lost remote control. What? I did that too once, Rasta. I made one that had like the storyline behind all my characters, all my main characters, because they all had a story that tied in together. Which eventually you reached Brigg. He was part of that same storyline. But I also made another one where I took my own main character and a whole bunch of friends, and then put them all in there so they fight along with you. And that was a really fun one. That was fun to do. That's a fun one to show off to your friends because, especially if you haven't told them and it's a surprise, and you go in there and all of a sudden they run up and it's like, oh hey. I had to do it as a secret too, so I had to like recreate their. Oh, I got a purple recipe. I had to recreate their costumes from memory. It wasn't like this one is where people just sent me their costume file and it's exact. I had to recreate it from memory, and so I'm like taking pictures of them when they're not looking and stuff, and I'm like, dude, I feel like a creeper because I'm doing it like all sneakily. In your opinion, what's the best fire farm for influence? I've been running 14.162 and the AE version. Uh, well, this one here is an influence farm, and this one I'm very particular to because the map is just the right size. Now, the meteor fragment, which is officially called the Shiva fragment, it's faster, but it's also a lot more stressful. It's faster because all the mobs are right there in close proximity. You just bam, 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 reset, come back in, do it again. But it tends to be really stressful because you're like racing yourself. Even though you don't have to be racing, but you find yourself just like going super fast, nonstop. You're not breathing, and it seems like it's too stressful. The cave maps or any of those really big maps, the problem with those is you get burnt out really fast. Like those maps get really long and boring, and they're very dull. And by the time you reach the end of one map, you're done. You don't want to do any more. You were no longer in the mood. Didn't matter if you like woke up that morning going, "I'm super jazzed. I'm gonna be farming that one mission all day, and I'm gonna farm the crap out and get a bunch of stuff." After one run of those big maps, you're like, I'm done. I'm so done. So that's why I like this one. Is one, it's a simple, easy pace around the block, and it's not too big. It's big enough to get quite a bit from it and not have to worry about resetting constantly, but it's not too small either. It's just a perfect timed map. Starland Nova. Come on in, Guthmunder. Now I want to make an AE mission where you uncover the astro signs stealing. That would be interesting. I don't know how you would. I mean, I guess you could do that as a glowy. That'd be funny. I just saw. Oh, I know where it's at. It's over here. Who's dead over here? Somebody's dead. Oh, he's push-ups. Figures Hot Load would be over here, loving the ground. Pierre, I don't know. Love the cave. Yeah, a lot of people love the cave. It's funny because I think the cave blew past Bloody Rainbow. A lot of people love the cave because it is big. You have a safe spot in the beginning. Um, I it bugs me. I cannot do that one for too long. Like I want to pull out my hair. It's just way too big. I thought I was launching faster than I remember. You make great farms. Thank you, Damon. I appreciate it. And welcome to the stream. That's it. Utes me. Yeah. Um. No, and it's funny because at one point I didn't know that everybody loved the cave map so much. Giggity. So I ended up changing it to more look like a conference, like a Comic-Con conference. And Khaleesi Wharf maps have some really cool maps that look like a conference inside of like an actual conference building, like a convention center type deal. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm totally going to use it. Everybody hated it. I instantly got just waves of hate mail begging me to change it back. I was like, okay, I'll change it back. The only reason I did it was it fit the whole comic convention theme, and nope, nobody wanted it. They wanted the XPs, and I was like, okay. So I changed it back, and I gave up my dream because I actually wanted to make another one like that, but I was like, nah, I'm not even gonna do it because it wasn't. Oh, I got a new subscriber, and I can't see it. It won't let me see it. I want to see it. Never lets me see it. Oh well, that's all right. Well, thank you you're to the new subscriber. I appreciate your support. I can never see who does the new subscription though. By the way, you can bind the Arctic Metal so you don't have to run to the terminal. Oh yeah, I have it. It's right here. It's a little AE one right there. Yeah, I have a macro set up for it. I never use it. I don't know. For some reason, I like to just go there and do it. If I'm like in like Cimaroa or somewhere where there isn't one, I'll use the button. But I don't know. I just always have done it and just comfortable running to it. I usually like to. Damien subscribe. Thank you, Damien. And thank you for letting me know. I don't know how to see it. And I don't know how people know that they get subscriptions because mine's on like this little itty bitty window that shows like the stream strength and analytics, but it doesn't give me that information. That information would be nice. But yeah, I've always just felt comfortable going to the terminals. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I have a bind right here that has a little AE Mason freaking protractor in there, a compass. And then I have my little macro with the little dollar symbol. And then I have another macro over here. This is my base teleporter. It's a little house. Little macro button. This tune just hit 50 yesterday. Nice. So now you can start opening all your incarnates. Oh, it's Mev. How's it going, dude? I was on Everlasting with him last night, helping him. He ended up helping me. He invited me to come check out his farmer, and he was gonna do his first live stream yesterday, which I was busy, so I didn't even see the message in time. But I went over there, and he ended up like helping me level up another character on a different server. Cause you know me, I gotta have a farmer on every server. I can unsub and resub. Yeah, you technically could. I actually tested it when I first set up the little notification thing. I tested it by unsubbing and resubbing to see what it did with a alt account, just to see the I think it's Zelda, right? Just a little Zelda pop up. Last week I was at 298 followers or subs, followers. That's Twitch, and I was like two away from 300. I was like, oh, very cool. I'm about to hit 300, and then my wife notices that, and she tells all her friends in her work channel, her little group chat for work, to go sub to my account. Within like 20 minutes, all of a sudden I went from 298 to 294. I'm like, what? What happened? It's like I just had like an exodus of people leave, and she told me that, and I'm like, oh, I have a feeling that some of her friends were already subbed, but don't really, know how YouTube works that well, because it is confusing. I've looked at it and gone, wait, am I subbed or am I unsubbed? I think they clicked it anyway and unsubbed from it. It's like, oh, you cost me 4 subscriptions. Thanks a lot, dude. Trying to help and you made it worse. I was like, oh well. It was funny because when she was at work the next day, I was like, you better tell all your friends, freaking resub, but I didn't. Also, we want to do, we could do some more tonight, perhaps some PI paper missions. Are you going to be streaming again tonight? Because if I'm available, I mean, I'm always willing to go help people out. Let me know when you get a spot open. Well, welcome back, Tony. Hope you were able to help your wife, okay? Tony the Tiger. Oops, what's going over here? Here we go. Yeah, did you ever, Damien, did you ever get to see that link I sent you? Was somewhere over the rainbow? It was pretty funny. I think he just started streaming too, just a couple days ago, so that was one of his first streams as well. But yeah, he sent me that via Discord and was like, "Hey, this is for you." I was like, "What?" And he was streaming on We Have Cake though, and I was like, "Wow, where the hell am I? How did I end up over here? I'm not supposed to be over here." I'm like not even paying attention. Uh, yeah, he was on the We Have Cake server, and he was getting like 1.3 million XP for bosses. I was like, oh my goodness. And he was on the original Comic Con farm, the actual comic convention one. I'm like on the wrong side. I'm gonna jump back over here. I don't know how I ended up over there. Oh yeah, I gotta be careful with this character because if I'm too busy watching something and I'm not paying attention, I will be spamming buttons, and the next thing I know, I have blown past my endurance. I have not activated ageless, and then everything shuts off. There was this book I read that was about anti-gravity. It was impossible to put down. Dad jokes. Keep bringing the dad jokes. There was just one I was thinking about a couple days ago that was similar to that. What was it? I can't remember now. Oh well, maybe it'll come back to me when I'm not trying to think about it. I feel the same way about my subscription to Helium magazine. Can't put it down. Oh yeah, reminder, you wanted to make a new vid on another build of yours. Yeah, there's a couple videos recordings I wanted to do of I am not doing this very well. This is like a slow run. I'm usually trying to grab multiple mobs at once. I'm not doing that. And then by the time I usually defeat the lieutenants and minions and then move on. Next thing I know, I'm like not paying attention. I'm standing there all by myself with one elite boss going, dude, move on. But I wanted to do a couple videos. I want to do one of my task force just everyday build for my rad fire, which is this character, my brute farmer, because I do have a normal build for it that's not geared towards fire farming. It's more around all around character. And then I also have I wanted to do my rad tank build because I've had a few people ask for that one because I've used it a couple times in videos. And there was a couple other ones too people asked me to put together. I think it was an ice fire. I think. You are at 306. I am? Did I miss another one? I didn't even hear that one. Did it not notify? I don't know. I missed that one. I need to figure out how people stream and see the all the subs. I feel like sometimes they use like multiple computers, run things in different computers. I've considered like pulling my laptop and running the stream on that computer so I can see that stuff like you guys see it. No, the first French fries were no, it's because they're not actually French. The French fries is called French fries because Frenched is a style of cut on the fries. That's why they're called French fries. Frenched. They're Frenched. I didn't stop from freaking Congress renaming fries Freedom Fries back in early 2000s. I ran out of counts to add. That's funny. Oh, so I'm not the only one that didn't hear it. See, that's weird. Yeah, see, I want to have like I'm tempted to run my laptop on the side just to see the other screen because I have the stream analytics on one screen because I have two screens. I have the game, the stream analytics, and I almost want to set up a laptop to see the game as is, so I can see what you guys are seeing, and maybe I can. I don't know. I don't know what people are doing. My buddy streams, and I know he's got three screens he's looking at. And he says he's got two computers going, so he's doing something like that. If you see a robbery at an Apple store, does that make you an eyewitness? Yes, it does. It's gonna be copyrighted by Steve Jobs. He's gonna roll over in his grave, say ah. Freedom fries. What did they change hamburgers to again? I don't think so. But I wouldn't be surprised. I think they did do something like that during World War II. But I don't think it was. I think it was hot dogs or something. But they changed them because you couldn't call them Frankfurters anymore. Or I don't know. I don't remember what it was. What do you do with Imperium merits that you don't need for incarnates? Well, once you get 50 of them, you can change them into a transcendent merit, and you can email it to one of your characters, your other characters, so they can use it. It pretty much just becomes stuff you can use for other stuff, other characters. Once you hit 99, though, the only way you can get Imperium merits is from Task Force, Vet level 99. Like, I have turned off my XP once I hit 99, but I often, like, screw something up, and I'm at 112. So I've gotten lots of levels on accident. 13 levels on accident. 13 levels that are like level 50 levels on accident. Waste of influence right there. Freaking 12, 13 levels of 50 level influence I could have gotten. At least 50% of it. What's Whitney Houston's favorite type of coordination? And I. That's really good. Use two comps and an iPad. Dang. You got quite the setup going on. Yeah, it's the sad part is I don't think about setting it up that way until I'm halfway through a stream. I'm like, shit, I can't do it now. I always forget. Is there content pocket E to level up? Yes. Up in the bar. There's actually when you walk out of the teleporter for AE, if you look up to the right, there is a opening with like a little like upstairs balcony. If you can jump up there or fly up there, it actually it wraps around to the bar, and you can go talk to War Witch, the trainer. On the other side of Pocket D, there is a pay to win vendor too that you can access while in a task force. You don't have to drop group or anything like you would in Atlas. Okay, Punisher. I would definitely appreciate it. There we go. Use up some of my reds because I keep forgetting to. Yeah, Punisher, I would definitely appreciate it. I've never actually looked up that kind of stuff. I'm sure there's a tutorial, something like that, give you an idea, but I focus on the nuts and bolts to make it work, and then went for it. Liberty Stakes, just looked it up, and yes, it was back in World War II. Yeah, in early 2000s, it was the Freedom Fries. I'm sure they did it back then too, but it's because France wouldn't help with the war. They wanted to stay complacent, so they changed them to Freedom Fries. They've changed them back. Well, it's funny because the guy who protested that and changed it, um, because he was an advocate for the war, ended up being like totally flipped. Now he's an anti-war guy, so made a big old fuss and then changed his perception completely. Well, it's how I play from my bed. Oh, hey, Swordy needs to see that instruction so he can be his stream from his PJs. 70th level, cool. Fitty, Gretz. Um, free for all. I do have one person on the list. If you are willing to give up your spot, I can give it to them. I'm not asking anybody to leave, but if you are willing, or if you want to let someone else in, that's your good deed, then I'm not going to say no. I can't stop you. Where is this Goomagotcher? You're very welcome. Free for all, thank you very much for coming. Hopefully you'll stick around at least and hang out with us. Where the heck is this thing? Nope. 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 Oh, you're leaving to go do D&D. That's right, you did mention that. It was at least good having you, Gothmunder. You were in here like 2 hours early. I like set up the stream, and all of a sudden there was like already a message, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, it's Gothmunder." Okay. Let me see if I can grab Tony. And I will always love you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There we go. Is he still? Yes, cool. Awesome. There is Tony. And there's Hotlo doing his pop dance. We need a YMCA emote. That would be awesome. That'd be perfect for Hotload. Why don't we have a YMCA? We need one. Somebody get to the development team who can do that kind of choreography slash type artwork. Woo! Tony's in. Oh, the camping group was sailing away to win. Wow. You were getting some crazy wind last week, too. That's gnarly. That's just all kinds of gnar buckets. Kip, how you doing leveling up? On my way. Alright. That's the last time I leave brownies in the oven while I play City of Heroes. uh, I guess that's one way to burn calories. At first, I thought you meant because you were outside trying to catch the camping rig from flying away, but you literally burned 2,000 calories. There's a storm over Iceland, yeah. You gonna get some snow, I would imagine. Openly weeps the loss of brownies. I don't think they were your kind of brownies, Rasta. They were the normal kind, the boring kind. Oh my gosh. Lori made brownies yesterday. They were supposed to be health brownies. They were disgusting. And usually she'll make something that I might not like love, but I would at least tell her, yeah, they're okay. I mean, they're not like my favorite, but they're okay. No, I couldn't even. I was like, no, they're bad. They're bad. I'm sorry. I can't even fake it. And I forced myself to swallow it, and I was like, they're bad. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yes. So then, like an hour later, she comes back in and she's got one. She's like, oh my god, I can't eat these. These are disgusting. I'm like, I told you, I couldn't even fake it. They're bad. Orchid hit 50, just leveled them up to nice. Very cool. So yeah, we did get a couple people hit 50. Very cool. Oh, darn it. Oh, invite to team. I'm a fat kid. All brownies are my type. uh, I guess that works. Oh, jeez. I was excited too when I saw them. I was like, ooh, brownies. Or they were like brownie muffins. I was like, ooh. Yeah. I was like, can I have one of these? She's like, yeah, they're healthy. I was like, oh, okay. You know, I've eaten healthy brownies before. Yeah, no, not these. They were gross. They were all kinds of gross. 43. Nice. Do you think there will come a day when Lord will say my name? You know, it's funny because she has said worse things, but for some reason, that's just that word makes her cringe. And I'm sure she said it before, but I don't know. Maybe because she felt like she had a spotlight on her. I don't know. But that was something she did say when on the stream one day was that I'm not saying that name. You're about to get smoked. Here I come to wreck the day. It's funny, Hot Load, because I even struggle to say it sometimes. It's like, I don't want to say that. I don't want a hot load in my mouth. Come on. Rasta. We do know someone who would love to say that, though. I won't say names. Cosmodo, that's a great dad joke, though. That whole burning calories. I'm burning calories. Left brownies in the oven. You know what I found out was really low on calories were pancakes. I thought pancakes would be a ton of calories. They're actually not. Not as much as you would think, at least. Like the pancakes we were making, they were only like 100 calories each. And I was like, I thought those would be way more than that. It's Hoot Loud. I almost wanted to like start singing that. And I can't tell if it was like a gospel song or a country song. Hootin' loud. Eat some hootin' loud. Yes. Well, it would have. It would have. Well, no, we found sugar-free syrup. That it was like 3 calories for the syrup, and it was really good syrup. We found it somewhere because we were watching calories at the time, counting calories, and we went to get syrup and we were looking and 100, 120. It's like these all suck. The best we can find was like 30. And then we found one, it was literally like 3 calories. Or something stupid like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way. And sure enough, yeah. And so like for like a couple weeks we were just eating pancakes. Oh no. IHOP pancakes, those are full of calories. Denny's has the banana nut caramel pancakes, and they are absolutely scrumptious. But I feel like I need like a bypass after I'm done eating them. I'd like to see Lori pronounce that keyboard smash. Actually calls a tune name a keyboard smash. Yeah, that is a challenge that I don't dare try anymore. I can't do Tony's names. And most likely it means something. He usually creates a name that actually means something in Greek. How dare you, sir? That sounds so sinful. Waffle House for life. I've never been to a Waffle House. IHOP's okay. I haven't been in a long time. I usually don't. Every once in a great while, I think we'll go because we'll have some special, or someone gives us a coupon or like a gift card, so we'll go. But I would rather just go to Denny's, which is not any better, but it's pretty much the same thing. But Denny's has some like I really love that. It's a banana cream with bananas, nuts, and caramel, and it's freaking good. But yeah, you'll feel like you're dying afterwards because you know your body's just taking in way too much sugar. It's not my fault. You're all uncultured swine and can't produce basic Greek. Yep. Well, we do live in America. Wouldn't even know our own history. If we lived in England, if we grew up in England and took like school in England, we would know our own history better than we do. They go my ego. They go my ego. Boom. Is that a new tune, Tony? You said you made a new tune, right? What does that one mean? Try our diabetic comas. They are delicious. Absolutely. It's like that one burger joint in Vegas, Heart Attack or something. Heart Attack Burger, or maybe that's the name of the burger. The restaurant is set up like a hospital, and the waitresses are in like nurses' gowns and stuff, and they have a burger that's called a Heart Attack Burger, and two people have had heart attacks in their place eating it. It has been known to almost kill people because it is just one massive burger of cholesterol. I miss Jeff Goldblum and that as Malcolm. I got that from a costume contest. Somebody had did a costume contest honoring the farm, and he was one of the contestant winners. And so I snagged the contestants and got their files and made characters. I also added in Spider-Man 2099 from that, Mysterio, and then Malcolm. Malcolm was really funny. I just saw that heart attack burger guy where they were spanking a guy that didn't finish his burger. What? They were spank. Never been to a Waffle House? What the fuck? That's un-American. We don't have Waffle House here in California, at least not in this area. We have IHOP and that's it for Waffle House. Oh, we have Country Waffle, but I think that's more of a local place. Yeah, it's not around anymore. Where's the nearest Waffle House? Have you ever been to a Waffle House? And Texas is the nearest Waffle House, so apparently it is not a West Coast thing at all. That's a lot of countries that got skipped. Not even Vegas has it. That's just scary. Art Attack Burger, and it's already have two. Yeah, it's a crazy burger. You can find it on YouTube. There's another place too in Vegas that I don't remember the name of it, but they treat you like shit, and they insult you, make fun of you, and if you do something stupid, they like put a dunce cap on you. Like they give you hats, and they write something on it like it's insulting. But if you really do something stupid, they go all out. But they totally make fun of you. I think the waitresses even do lap dances, but they just insult you. I don't know what it's called. I believe it's in Vegas. Sounds hilarious. Yeah, the Heart Attack Burger place, they make people put on medical gowns. The waitresses are dressed as sexy stripper nurses, and they make guys get on this BDSM thing and get spanked with a paddle. People going nuts, taking videos and pics. uh, yeah, when you work at something like that, you're not actually a waitress. You are an entertainer. They don't fall under normal labor laws. It's a loophole. They're an entertainer, a contracted entertainer. Because that would never fly. I really want to go to the insult one, though. I don't know what it's called. Dick's Last Resort. There it is. Thank you. Dick's Last Resort. Insult restaurant. Yep. I really want to go to a Dick's Last Resort. In Myrtle Beach. I went to near Word. I thought I went to Myrtle Beach. It turns out I was actually near it when I was in North Carolina visiting a couple friends who were from this game. I love how Hotload's always just doing something sweaty next to the glowy, not actually touching it. I mean, he could click it, but just warn me so I don't click it. I don't want to touch something after Hotload's touched it. Rad Corruptor, nice. What happened to Dick's Sporting Goods? Well, we have a Dick's Sporting Goods here, so I don't know. It's still here. Apparently, it's not Dick's Last Resort. Can you sell enhancements at Pocket D? Yes. Uh, up, up behind you, up on top of the second floor. There's a guy in a little like bar station. You can sell right there and buy. But there's a stair. There's a set of stairs that goes around the edge, and then there's a spiral set of stairs that go around the pillar, and you can jump across to them if you wanted to. Yeah, that guy. Melton. I never did check to see what that recipe is. A Fortunata. Fortunata. Hypnosis. Oh my gosh, I've been recording Star Wars Galaxy Fallen Order and recording it, which is it's kind of weird because when you're recording it, I completely understand how people who do YouTube and record like games or like are always say how like they never get to actually play games anymore. I get it because I'm like you're playing games all the time. How can that? I get it because when you're recording it, you're working it it doesn't feel like you're playing a game. You're working. You have to actually put the effort in, and you're constantly thinking, do I edit this out? Do I add this in? Do I need to add something right here? Do I need to want a little pop up to pop up right here? And so you're constantly working, and so you don't get to actually enjoy the game. It's a weird feeling. But I wanted to be able to play Star Wars Jedi and actually be able to enjoy it and not feel like I'm working all the time. And so I decided to play it on hard mode, the Grandmaster mode. Oh my god. I rage quit. I was so mad. I kept dying over and over. I mean, it was there was like this one creature would one shot me. I was like, this is unplayable like this. Like it's just ridiculous. One little mistake and you were just dead. I just didn't have the patience for it at the time. My wife wants to fly out to California on business. You live there, Brigg? I'm going to say this place wrong. Caraposa? I honestly have not heard of Caraposa, but I'm assuming it's Caraposa. It's crazy hard. Like on Bogano, I decided I was gonna go fight Ogdo on, I'm like, this is gonna be piece of cake. I just, it's nicer on Grandmaster because the deflect feels a little more like it should, because you expect it to work right at the last second, so that feels more comfortable. Oh, Mariposa, yes, might be Mariposa. Um, but I went to go fight Ogdo in the beginning. You don't have very much life or health, and he barely touched you insta death. And I'm like, I got so frustrated. I was like, I'm done. I think I jammed to the vault, got what I needed, and got the fuck out of there. Couldn't do it anymore. I didn't even go looking for the rest of my all my little container chests or parts. I was like, I'm just gonna get out of here. And then from there, I went to Zepho, and I don't. I think I started it and then just rage quit. I was like, I'm done. Yep. Yeah, if they're talking about Mariposa, it's up north a little bit, and it goes into the mountains. Not completely, but it's up there. I had a buddy of mine who wanted me to help him on a job in Mariposa. I'm like, I ain't going to Mariposa. That's freaking like 2.5 hours away through the mountains. It was going to be a multiple day job. Like, nope, not doing it. Sorry, buddy. I was busy anyway, but he wanted to do it like after work or on my weekends. I'm like, dude, nope. I built a god on Champions Online and had nothing to do. I have not played Champions Online in so long. I thought that game was just going to be the bee's knees. I bought a lifetime subscription during beta. So I still have it. I still collect veteran rewards or whatever they are there. And I was going on there like once in a while back then and like checking it out, and I do really like the amount of customization you have in the character creator, and I like the amount of costume pieces you get in there a little more than I do on City Heroes. I like that you can change, you can add arm bands and leg bands, and you can make one leg shorter than the other if you wanted to, one leg bigger than the other. You had a lot more customization. But I hated the capes. Did they ever fix the capes? Because, man, the capes are horrible. I would take the capes on World of Warcraft that are heavily starched over the capes in Champions. where they look like they're not even a part of your actual character, and they come off your body, up, out, and then finally down. So they make like this hoop, big hump before they even rest. It's like that's not how gravity works. But I would definitely take World of Warcraft's overly starched capes than those. Oh my god, I bought Champions Lifetime sub too. Had no idea he was going to come back. The freedom function was the absolute best thing ever. Or free form, yeah. These global channels I need to be a part of. I have no idea. There are some task force ones and whatnot. I haven't really been messing with the global channels. Well, I mean, mainly because I hardly really get to play anymore. Heavily starched. They're stiff. World of Warcraft's capes are like super stiff. They don't move. They just kind of they don't move. They don't flow like they do on City Heroes. City Heroes just got it right with their capes and their wings. They just look authentic and believable. World of Warcraft, it looks like you're wearing freaking cardboard cape, heavily starched fabric. And I think that's one of the reasons that because after City Heroes, I decided I would finally try World of Warcraft, and I couldn't do it. The capes just it was such a turnoff that I was like, I can't do it. I just can't. And this game looks way too cartoony, even though it's in some ways a very pretty game, a much more aesthetically pleasing game to look at. It was just too cartoony. Like I know City Heroes is very bleak and bland and mostly, you know, industrial or cityscapes kind of stuff, which in itself is just, walls of pavement and concrete, but it had this more realistic feel to it. The other one did not. World of Warcraft just looked super cartoony, too cartoony for me. But yeah, but Buddyman has the Lifetime Legacy or whatever sub, Founders or something for Champions Online. He hates the game. Yeah, yeah, that's what I have. So every time or when I used to log in, I haven't logged in years. But when I did, I would log in and I'd have like 30,000 vet points. I could buy anything and everything I wanted to on their store. Anything I want. So I was like, oh wow. So I went on there and was checking it out. And they had some crazy uh, ship that everybody was trying to save for. And I was like, what ship? And so because there was somebody on there that I was talking to. And he's like, yeah, there's this badass ship that everybody's trying to save up for. I'm like, what's it called? And I look on there, and it was like 12,000. I was like, oh, I could buy that. I bought it. He's like, what? Because you don't even play. I was like, I'm lifetime. Like I still collect all the veteran points because I'm lifetime. So I can be gone for 10 years and I'm still collecting the points. I bought it. And then I didn't play again. That was the last time I played. I was on for like an hour and bought the ship and then didn't play again. I was like, that's kind of a dick move. Oh, I haven't done GW2. I'm sorry. I am one of those diehards that I will never play GW2. I'll never play Gear Wars, Guild Wars, Gear Wars. I'll never play GW2. Anything NC soft based, I won't touch. Even with this back, I still won't touch it because this had nothing to do with NC soft, but I them shutting down City Heroes still hurts. Like I still refuse to play GW2 or anything NC soft backed. I am playing SOTOR right now. That's primarily because another streamer that I like to help out with, uh, he is doing Star Wars as well as City Heroes. So and my account is still activated, so I went over there and helped him out. And so I've been on there with him. I've been on Star Wars more than I've been City Heroes lately. I love that game. It's just there's something about City Heroes that you really can feel powerful and strong and superhero like. The enhancement setup with the set bonuses and the ability to really mix and match your character is just so much more enjoyable than having to go grind out pieces that you may or may not ever get. It is so annoying, so frustrating. And then to really get the parts to your character in SOTOR that really will benefit you and make you a character as you expected it to be, you have to do a material that is almost impossible, but you have to have a group of people that you have chemistry with. It's just, it's too hard. It's frustrating. Like I was in a guild back when SOTOR was really kicking, and we were doing all the epic nightmare mode stuff. But man, you make one little mistake, and I mean one small little mistake, and it's game over. Everybody crashes. Everybody wipes. A nightmare mode. There is no room for error. There was zero room for error, and it's frustrating. And you're trying to get a certain piece that you need, and there's no guarantee that you're going to get it, and it's just so frustrating. So I really enjoy City Heroes. I like the customization. I like the setup for building your character much better. I like that you have that option from the get go. It's just more my style. We should make a guild called City of Heroes. I really love the gunslinger that pray spray is sexy. You know, um, uh, Positive Gamer made a guild over there for his community. He streams on YouTube, and he's got like 7,000 subscribers. He's doing really well, and I hear whispering over there. What are you doing? Um, so oh well, he Positive Gamer made a guild over there, and so there's already like 200 people in the guild. But when he decided he'd never played Star Wars, he just started playing a couple weeks ago, and he decided to make a guild, and he couldn't figure out what to name it, and so I threw out a couple legit suggestions, and something to do with galactic. I like galactic. Galactic sounded cool. Let's make something galactic. So I threw out a couple suggestions, but he liked the idea of Taco Bell. He wanted something to do with tacos. So I said the Galactic Gordita. And he's like, that's it. That's what we're doing. And I was like, oh my God, is he serious? I was joking. I was so joking. And then somebody else threw out Empire. So he named it the Galactic Gordita Empire. And I was like, oh my God, I was kidding. What have I done? So yes, I joined the guild, and on SOTOR, I am part of the Galactic Gordita Empire. I was like, what did I do? Did not mean for that to be taken seriously, and he loved it. I was like, oh no. I'm so sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to do that. But it's still pretty cool. It's fun. So he calls us the GGE. So it's fun. I mean, hey, if it could be a conversation starter, why not? Yeah, I've considered streaming Star Wars. Give more of a mix. Because, I don't want to be tied down just to City Heroes. That's why I tried to. I just spit everywhere. That's why I tried to promote. Or not promote, but that's why I try to upload different types of videos on my channel. Not just City Heroes, but or not just Star Wars. Or I try to do different things, random stuff I find on Steam. Just so it's, just different. Got to start the Rebel Chalupa Alliance. I'm going to tell him that. That's hilarious. The Rebel Chalupa Alliance. That's really good. He's going to like that. I don't know if they've started a alliance guild. They may have, but I'm gonna tell them that one. A lot of people have been asking about it. I've pretty much played every uh, class on SOTOR except for Agent. I've never played Agent. Um, Everybody keeps telling me that it's the best story arc in the game, and I believe him. I believe him. I just never played it. I have refused to watch it on YouTube. I don't want to watch any Agent stuff because one of these days I would actually like to play it and see the storyline for myself. But everybody talks about how awesome it is, how they get their own ship rather than just the typical class ship. But yeah, I mean, other than Agent, I've played all the classes on there. But I am a diehard Jedi Knight and Juggernaut or Warrior. I've got 20 plus Jedi Knights and 20 plus Juggernauts. I don't care that I keep playing the same character over and over. They're just so much fun. If it wasn't for Force Leap and Force Charge, I probably wouldn't play them as much. Luck of the Gambler. Global Recharge. Nice. That's cool. I mean, if you get any kind of defense, that's lucky because you can turn it into a Force of the Luck of the Gambler. Force. Yeah, I've been considering doing like random streams, but I don't know. We'll see. It's not hard to set up. It doesn't take long. But it's I mean one of the reasons too that I don't do it is um, I don't want to lock myself down into something that one my wife doesn't like it when I start playing like every night if I were streaming every night. Only because she can't really talk to me or do something. Like if I'm on here playing a game, it's no big deal because she can do her own thing, watch TV, whatever. But if I'm streaming, then it limits her what she can do because now she's got to be quiet. She doesn't want to interrupt the stream. She can't watch TV in the background. And that's usually why I'm not doing like streamings at during the nights or just random. I could do it during the day, but I don't know. The odds are, can you buy enhancement converters? You can buy absolutely, and they are about. You can buy 10 for 100,000. I think they're about 10,000 a piece. No, they're like 90,000 a piece. So you can buy 10 for a million, if I remember right, or is it 100? I don't know. They're cheap. They're super cheap. So yeah, you can buy 10 for. I don't know. I feel like it's 90,000. It's around 90,000 for a converter. It's pretty cheap. I felt like it was cheap. Yes, from AH, from the auction house, which is my little dollar sign button right here. I made my own auction house macro button. I liked it better. The Rebel Chalupa Alliance. Where is your base? Why can't I move? I'm stuck. I was like stuck on an invisible wall right there. Yeah, I really like Star Wars though. I don't like that it fell into the whole World of Warcraft setup. Um, Everybody goes to World of Warcraft as their style because oh, it's been around for so long. It's got to be they got to be doing something right, right? Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't be creative and create something new. Don't just reskin something. How do you divide boxes? Um, you can just right click it and then you can add trays, but you can it says right here if you right click on the number, it's usually you need to just right click on an open space. The number is usually the safe spot, but you can change the size of it: 2x6, 3x4, 4x3, 6x2. You can make it horizontal. You can make it vertical. But you could just hit this plus button over here, and it adds a you can add a tray, and just move it over here, and just change its size. I get real like OCD when it comes to stuff like that. Everything has to have its place. And then once you get that set up, you can go into your Windows, open up options, and go over to Windows. Once you get it all set up, just come down to the bottom here, and then hit save to default file. So then whenever you load in a new character, you just have to hit uh, load file, and it'll load up your saved setup. That way you have to keep like removing everything around every time you start a new character. I always fight with that on Star Wars, on SOTOR. Because I feel like every time I start a new character, or if I haven't been on in a while and I come back, and I redo a patch or something, or a patch update, all of a sudden my interface setup is gone, and I have to start over from scratch. And I don't know why it keeps resetting. Is Hotload leaving? What's going on? Such a dirty name, Hotload. Yeah, Positive Gamer doesn't stream or anything on Sundays. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing him again. I gotta tell him, dude, we gotta start the Rebel Chalupa Alliance. He'll get a kick out of that. Rasta, what level are you now? You lost your hot load. Oh no! For the superior enhancements being too overpriced, yeah. But you know what? I'm okay with them being 20 to 30 million. It's still ridiculously high. I would be happier if they were closer to 10 to 15. But I mean, on live they were 2 billion. So I try to check myself and not complain because they were ridiculous. And that's one of the reasons that I'm adamant about supporting people who create farms or farm, because they are providing more enhancements to be put in the market. And more supply means less or lower prices. So bring them on. Keep farming. Load up the freaking auction house and bring down the prices. Oh, good, Damien. Yeah, generally, I wouldn't spend that much anyway on the superior ones or the purples or whatever. I'll usually find the cheapy ones, the ones that aren't as popular, and just convert them. Anyone have 700 million to spare? Are you broke? That's no bueno. That is no bueno. I keep begging, I mean asking Brigg. I don't have any influence, dude. I'm broke. You can't see that on my screen, right? All I keep making new characters and putting them like instantly go to build mode. Like I don't even wait. I'll be like level 10 and I'll go buy all my setup, put half of it on. If you plan right though, you can get away with your build only costing you about 300 million. But I mean, you really got to be careful with what you're buying and your converters, and you can buy cheap and then build up. Totally doable. And the other thing too is not necessarily just selling everything. I mean, definitely that's definitely a way to make some money fast. That's if you're doing it right, you can make a ton more money than you can farming. But I usually just store a lot of my purples and whatnot. Like I have a storage bin that's dedicated just to purples, one for just PvP enhancements. So, and then one for archetype enhancements. Because every now and then I'll just buy a bunch of the packs and then just throw them all in my storage. And then when it comes time to like a new character, I can just go there and go, oh shit, I've got all these already here. So like I'll have half of them already ready to go. Spit a couple 100 million, grabbing the ones they don't, and off to the races. You know, help those that need help. Doesn't have to be farming or 47 million. Just help people. That's a very specific number. You know, just help someone with 47,300,000. It's very specific. That's funny. What comes in those packs? You get a lot of the random stuff. You also get merits. You get special enhancements or special inspiration stuff like that. But primarily, depending on the pack, you get the special enhancements. So the Winter Lord sets, you get the winter sets. You have a chance to get up to two in one pack. Typically, 9 out of 10 times you're going to get at least one, um, and then maybe 3 out of 10 you'll get two. So I have never actually, because I'll buy like 10 of them. They're 25 million a piece, but I'll buy 10 of them, and I've never had less return than I've spent. So I'll get 10 packs, and I'll end up with 14 enhancements. Now, if I ended up with 8, I'd be upset, but I usually end up with more than I started with. And but on top of it, you get a ton of merits, you get converters, you get catalysts. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you get them that are just totally beneficiary to not. I mean, I'm getting them for the enhancements, the special ones. Anything else is bonus. But a ton of merits and stuff. I mean, that's just awesome. But you get there's packs in there where you can get like the archetype enhancement sets, and they're a lot cheaper. I think they're 10 million a piece, maybe, unless they raise the price on them. Now the drop rate is a little bit less on those, but for the most part, you should get what you paid for. Now I have bought like 4 of them and not gotten any of the archetype enhancement slots in there. I mean I just had really bad luck that time. That was the only time. Since then I'll buy like 10 of them, and I'll end up with like 11 or 12. My wife loves farming too. She likes the she likes the feeling of being like super strong and powerful and invulnerable. Because I've tried her to get her to play different characters. She did enjoy playing blasters and doing damage and stuff. She always ventured towards being a healer, but I don't know. I didn't really feel like she enjoyed it that much. She did enjoy being a blaster and doing a ton of damage. But when I made her the fire farmer, she really liked it. I don't know. Maybe I need to set her up with a tank build. Maybe she would just like being super invulnerable. But she really likes farming. She didn't really play City Heroes. I introduced it to her right before it was shut down during Sunset. It was like right before. So she only played for like a week. But when we got invited to the secret server, I made her a farmer setup and she loved it. I can't heal for shit. I am the worst healer. I don't know what it is, but I cannot. And someone tried to get me to heal in because I do have a healer on Star Wars, the Old Republic, and I can't do him. And it's even worse than City of Heroes. But even here, I can't like having to pay attention to when I need to clear mine people and can't do it. It's too much work. My brain doesn't function that way for some reason. I can tank all day. I have awesome field awareness where I'm looking out for, where people are and make sure that nobody's being attacked, where the next group is, who I need to taunt next. I have very good field awareness when it comes to that kind of stuff. But clear mind and making sure everybody has their bubbles and that's just it's too much. It's the point that I have to keep all these over here all open, so I have to. No, it's too much. Can't do it. I don't want to see those little Gumagotchers. As much as you feel uncomfortable telling what is the story of the secret server. Um, what do you mean, as far as story goes? I mean, as far the there was a couple groups trying to create servers back then when the game originally shut down, and NCSoft put a cease and desist on them immediately. Uh, One of them being Homecoming. Before they changed the name to Homecoming, the name used to be Score, and they got shut down. But an individual, Leo, was sent an email from an anonymous person saying, "I have the code. Would you like it?" And he's like, "Yes." So over the course of a few weeks, because it was a lot of code to send, he was sending chunks of it over to Leo. And Leo eventually got it all and created his own private server that you cannot search and find. Like there is no way you can get there unless you have the exact address. So it's not like I can just go on Google and go, secret server. You have to have the actual manifest and address. Even if you have the address, you can't get in unless you have an actual manifest that allows you in. So he created a private server and he had it up and going within like 2 or 3 months after City Heroes shut down. So it's been around the whole time. So even though a lot of people were not playing these past 8-9 years, it's been up since then. So, um, but of course, a lot of people were putting leaks out there, so they would ban people and then rip them a new one, which was sad because they were telling the truth, but they were undermining him, so nobody believed him, and that was the messed up part. But should have just ignored it. But but no, that's I mean you can invite people to the server. Um, there was strict rule, like Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club. Well, that's pretty much how it was. You were not allowed to talk about it with people. I mean, it was getting a little crazy. Like they expect you not to even talk to like close people. It's like, well, duh. Obviously, I'm gonna tell my brother. You can't freaking. I mean, duh. I always loved invul tanks until I made my rad tank, and then I was like, oh, dude, this freaking tank is awesome. Yes, absolutely. Glad to have it back. But I mean, that's the for the most part. There's not much more to it than that. I mean, it went on for years like that. Leo made a bunch of changes. He incorporated up to or whatever that was completed all the way up to I-26. Um, and then the leaks kept coming out. People were getting banned, and then rumors started to get circulating that he had people's credit card information, and and he was like, "No, I don't." Well, then more rumors started coming out, throwing certain developers under the bus for NCSoft, and that's when he decided he was going to come out and say, "Look, he was okay when people were attacking him. He was just kind of ignoring it, but when they started like attacking people and risking their careers, that's when he came out and said, "Look, none of this is true. Yes, the server exists. I do not have people's credit card information like people are suggesting. These people didn't give me the people's personal information. There's no reason for me to even have it. I just have the nuts and bolts, which is the code for the game. Doesn't have personal information. He has everybody's accounts and characters, but not their personal information. He had global names and stuff like that, but that's it." And he came clean because people were like accusing people of shit that can get them like ruin their careers. This is like my spiky Freddy Krueger. But yeah, it's nice to have it back. And now that NCSoft has renewed their license because it was due, that's cool because it feels like they kind of believe City Heroes to have some viability still. So I don't know, maybe that bodes well, good for someone, whether it's Homecoming or NCSoft. I can't imagine they ever get rid of it. Why would they? It's cheap to keep it. I mean, what does it cost? I think it's like $3,000 to renew the ownership license, the trademark or whatever. I mean, $3,000 is nothing to a large corporation. Not a big deal. So why not keep it? I would like to think that they would do something in some sort of like. Obviously, they're not going to give it away, but maybe give some sort of joint corporation type thing with Homecoming. That would be cool. The problem is though is the City of Heroes Homecoming doesn't really have enough players to make it really um, that much of an issue or viable enough interest for NCSoft to take over. I mean, yeah, there's 3,000 people playing at most given times, but I mean we're talking 3,000 people. That's not enough to really be sustainable for NCSoft to recreate City Heroes or whatever. That's not much. There was a pause and joint. Give them a joint. Mellow out, man. It's all good, man. Make love, not war. Skills for a game, man. If they give him 10 million, that's, I mean, maybe. Things go for a lot of money these days. 10 million might be. I think that would work. Because in the end, they were only making like $3 to $4 million a year from City Heroes, which is, it's not bad, but they wanted to focus on other things. They were not into the Western culture stuff. And I think it all came down to culture. Because to them, in Korea, the City Heroes thing was not a money making thing. Like they set up an Asian server for City Heroes. It was actually very cool. They had their own cool sets and powers and costume pieces that were more Asian designed, and they were awesome looking. We were not going to get them, and it totally crapped out. It flopped hard because different culture, they were not interested in superhero type stuff. Now, had they released it like in the past 10 years, I think it's a different story. Because now we're living in a different world where superhero stuff is mainstream, where it wasn't like it back then. You know, Iron Man had barely come out in what, 2009, 2010. So, and now we're in the heyday of Marvel. If it had come out, City Heroes came out now, it's a different story. Of course, Marvel would be jumping all over it again, for certain. I mean, they're fighting with Sony over Spider-Man. They would be all over it. Marvel and Disney, man, they're greedy little fucks. Disney mainly. Disney's always been greedy as shit. That's a fucked up company right there. They know how to do their job, though. They know how to get the best and do the best and promote the best. Promoting primarily. I really was. Uh, I enjoyed Rise of Skywalker. It's a fun movie. But when you step back and look at it as a whole, you realize how screwed up that movie was and how many plot holes were in that movie. There was a video done by Angry Joe recently, 40 plot holes. They went over 40 of them. And I was like, oh man. And I was like, these are going to be dumb. It's going to be like little nitpick stuff. And I was like, these are not. I watched it. I'm like, oh my God, these are all big issues. These are not nitpicking things. And a lot of them I'd already seen and recognized, but no, there's a lot of big issues. But overall, I mean, it was a fun movie, but there was so much they could have done to make that game better, that movie better. Told you, man, you're way past the 10-day mark for spoilers. After 10 days, if you haven't seen it yet in 10 days, you're subject to spoilers. But I'm not going to say anything. I told you enough last night how Chewie and Leia hooked up and had a Chewie baby. They had a Chewbacca. Half human, half Chewbacca. Baby Baka Baka Baka. You know, Carrie Fisher and the guy who played Harry Potter, Chewbacca, really hooked up. I thought Chewbacca and Harry, so I said Harry Potter. 10 months? No, it's 10 days. For TV, it's 1 day. So when people didn't watch Game of Thrones, they had 1 day of spoiler free. After that, all bets were off. And Baby Yoda. That was Carrie Fisher's advice for Daisy Ridley, who is Rey. She said, because Daisy asked her for advice, she goes, "Don't go through the whole cast like wildfire," which is what Carrie Fisher did. She hooked up with everyone. She either slept with them or made out with them or something. With all of them. And even it's funny because like even oh gosh, Warwick Davis talks about how nice she was with him, and I'm like, Warwick, is there something you're implying here? Did you get to do the deed too? Man, she didn't sleep with Mark Hamill though, but they did make out. Like teenagers, they said. But towards the end, they started giggling and laughing like it was just funny. I was like, okay. I mean, that seemed a little awkward. Like maybe they had like a sibling moment right there. But I was like, Mark realized that she was too much to handle. Like too high maintenance. He couldn't handle her. And she was high maintenance. Oh yeah, we're talking about the 70s and 80s. They were definitely hitting on her. Leia was a how wow. What is a how wow? Also, I know a good YouTube vid on the topic of Carrie Fisher and Star Wars. I've seen a lot of them. Have you guys seen the? It came out months ago, but have you guys seen the Scene 38 reimagined yet? It's the New Hope scene where Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi fight for the last time. The reimagined version, like a fan-made version, is bad. It's freaking badass. Like like I feel like from now on that's my new canon. Like if I go watch New Hope, rather than watching that scene, I'll just put on the YouTube version, and then when that's over, continue with the movie. I actually thought Carrie Fisher was actually more attractive in A New Hope than she was as Slave Leia. She lost too much weight. I don't like really thin girls. And she always made fun of how she had like a fat face in New Hope. She did not have a fat face. She was still very thin and petite. I mean, she's like 5'1", but I she had some fullness to her face still. And then by the second movie, she started getting gaunt looking, and by the third movie, she was like really gaunt because she insisted that they make her lose weight. She's like, "No, you guys are gonna make me lose weight. You're gonna give me trainers. You're gonna freaking make me lose weight. I'm not getting in that suit without you making me lose weight." I was never into the whole uh, Princess Leia fantasy in the slave girl outfit. I don't know if I was maybe too young. I don't know. I guess if I was a teenager, maybe it was different. I'm not sure when Return of the Jedi came out, but it was in the '80s, so I wasn't a teenager yet. So maybe if I was in a teenager, it'd be different. But even then, even as I got a little older and was a fan of Star Wars, I never understood that. Just search fact find Carrie Fisher top result. Oh, for the video. Well, I mean, she released a book. It was the actual diary. It's called Star Wars Diary or something like that. But it's from her actual diary that she kept while she was doing the Star Wars movies. Like, she found it as an adult, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna release this as a book. And it talked about like her affair with Harrison Ford and Chewbacca, and I was like, I don't know if you really want to be telling that. And she did it without consulting them. Like she thought it was no big deal. Like, who cares? Not knowing that maybe they wouldn't want that information out there. Oh yeah, I was cheating on my wife. That's okay, right? We can put that out there. Congrats on 48. That's cool. Very cool. So close. Boom. Oh my god, I haven't looked at my inspirations in I feel like in an hour. Oops, don't use that power. I don't want to use that power. We use this power. Ready? Boom. She had a child solo. Grathmageddon. That's funny. You said that yesterday. I was like, that's funny. I've never heard that before. Yeah. She also lived with her mother for I think, a good portion of her life. I think up until the day she died, actually. I think she was still living with her mom. They were all living together. Just a house full of divas. Mark Hamill often talks about in a lot of interviews how when they were approached about joining the episode 789, that when they asked Carrie Fisher, she like just jumped at it, and he was kind of like, Carrie, poker face. You got to make sure they, treat him like they want you. They'll give you more money or whatever. And she's like, look, I'm freaking up in age now. People are not just handing me jobs in Hollywood. I was like, that's true. She goes, you got to take what you can get. She died in a plane. No mom was involved. What? Uh, that's. I didn't. Yes, I don't think she wasn't living in a plane though. No mom was involved. That's so sad. It's horrible. I remember when I heard it, I was like, oh my! It just kind of shocked me because I was like, one, it's Carrie Fisher, she'll always be Princess Leia, and two, they were in the middle of making the new freaking trilogy. I was like, come on, that's horrible. It was sad. It was what it really, why it was the like really took effect with me because she was dealing with bipolar so much and really struggling in life. She was hitting rock bottom. She was drinking really bad, and she's going through all kinds of problems. And then she finally started getting her life back together. And then she got to be back in Star Wars, and things were moving up for her, and it was starting to look really positive. And then she dies, and I was like, oh man. So she didn't even really get to enjoy it. I mean, I'm sure she did. I mean, she was someone who lived life to its fullest, but I wish she had more years behind it to enjoy it. I watched her do a stand up one time, and it was not a stand up. It was not like a stand up comedy show. But that's how it was set up. And all she did was like sit on a couch and talk about her life. And which was really odd because it was billed almost like a comedy show. But she talks about her life, and it was crazy, like the stuff she was talking about. Like, she went through some shit, man. She had to deal with all kinds of heartache and bipolar issues and the drinking and drugs, and I mean, she dealt with a lot of crap. So it was really nice to see her actually be on top again. And then when she passed away, I was like, damn. No moms were harmed in the death of Carrie Fisher, R.I.P. Her mom is definitely an animal. She's a wild one. When you see interviews with her mom, you realize, oh, okay, I can see where Carrie gets it. Mom was a pistol. I like to do stand up sitting down. Well, her topics were very severe, though. I mean, there was nothing funny. It was very like heart wrenching. Like you really felt for her, but it was still a neat show. I think at the time she was promoting her book, Wishful Drinking. I think that's why she was doing it. Wishful Drinking. I've never read any of the books. I definitely want to check out the. I mean, I definitely want to check out that one. Interesting, but that one's more dealing with all her struggles in life, and she dealt with. The diaries are as her diary that she had during Star Wars. Oh, ooh, I'm getting tired. Ugh. Of course, I look at my clock and it says 1, 2, 3, 4. It's always 1, 2, 3, 4 when I look at the clock. Boom. Oh my gosh, I gotta do the purge later. I'm not looking forward to that. What sucks is like I was saying earlier, my videos for YouTube. I mean, some of them are 60 gigabytes. They're huge. That's not gonna be a simple drag and drop. I'd like it to be. I'd like to be able to just click it and move over and drop it and be done. But that's gonna take time, and I've got a lot of them like that. To voice in your stream, that depends. Depends on where my wife's at on studying. I don't want to get scolded again. She'll be back there going, "Babe, sorry, trying to sing over here." I kept putting a song on too. It's like I can't hear it. It's bad enough that I have songs running through my head all the time that I'm trying to sing. You put an actual song that I'm actually listening to, and then the lips start moving. Can't help it. I wanted to do another Star Wars recording too, but I might have to wait till tomorrow on that one. We shall see. I did. I was singing "Star Over the Rainbow." Yep, and I got in trouble. I did it. Well, the first time I did it, she's like, "Hey, I can't study." I was like, oh, "Okay, sorry, my bad, my bad." And then like not 10 minutes later, I'm doing it again. She's like, "Babe," and I'm like, "Oh, sorry, sorry, I forgot already. I didn't even think about it." It's funny because um, when my wife and I met some friends in Colorado, uh, that was one of the first things they said when we came back and we were all on our Friday night show together. So the first thing he says is, "I didn't know Brigg sang all the time." I was like, "What do you mean?" And we'll meet like every year, but this is the first time we met like at his house. Because usually we're meeting somewhere like L.A. Disneyland type of thing, and we have hotel rooms. This is the first time that we're actually hanging out at his house, so there's a lot of downtime. When you're at Disneyland, or you're always doing something, you're always busy. But when you're at someone's house, you're relaxing, and this isn't like just for a few hours. We're actually staying there for days, so you relax and chill and have downtime. And he was joking around that I'm always humming or singing, and I'm like, "Do I really like that often?" And everybody's like, "Yes." Like, oh, I got a song in my soul. I can't help it. Just always singing. Not a bad thing. Well, my girlfriend was laughing her butt off at me for doing the farm to a hamster dance. Oh, you said you were doing something. I thought you said the frog though, but you were actually like the music, right? You weren't singing or doing the dance. You were actually listening to it. I'm assuming you just had that playing. That would be funny. Uh, I mean, I've done it to the Numa Numa song and stuff like that. Weird songs. Or Let It Go. There's I feel like there's another one that I can't think of right now. A weird song that I've played like over and over while I was farming. I don't know why it is. I don't know. There's a weird song. I don't know why it's weird. Or maybe it's not weird. It's just funny that I don't know. Was it? Oh, you know what? I think it was a bunch of Sia songs, like Chandelier. It was like Sweet But Psycho and I think Taylor Swift. All female artists. I was just rocking out to "Delicate" by Taylor Swift and "Sweet but Psycho" and Sia song "Chandelier." I think there's another one too. I was for Sia I was doing. I was three of them, I think, but I would put them all on loop. And it was only like six songs, so they were just going over and over and over while I was farming all day one day. From Space Jam, being summoned again by the sorceress. You're gonna come back undead. I'm getting hungry. I don't know what I want to eat though. I kind of feel like I need meat, eggs, or something. I had a little bit of eggs this morning. Now I got the other song. Oh, she's sweet but a psycho. See? Song of my soul. Taco Bell. Our Taco Bell's here actually really good. We don't get the stereotypical Taco Bell shit talk around here. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Taco Bell, instant diarrhea. Our Taco Bell's good. Like it's pretty high quality. I don't know if it's a West Coast thing or it's this area, but our Taco Bell's really good. It's like Carl's Jr. and Hardee's. You know, Carl's Jr. It's the same branding, it's the same image, same almost everything's the same, but except on West Coast it's Carl's Jr. Everywhere else it's Harding's, and Harding's is disgusting. I've had their food; it's gross. But Carl's Jr. is amazing. It's like this awesome charbroiled burger. Harding, I don't know. There's something wrong with Hardee's. Gross. I thought it would be the same thing. It was not at all. Taco Bell there and where you're at is good too. Everybody always talks about Taco Bell. It's just, oh yeah, you eat Taco Bell, you're gonna have diarrhea. I'm like, I've never had that problem, but okay. Maybe I just have an iron gut. I know that's not true because I have so many stomach problems right now. You know what's funny is I was recording. I edited a video and then I uploaded it, and then I was messing with it after I'd already uploaded it to go add on the thumbnail. And as I'm towards the end of the video, looking for a good picture to copy for a thumbnail, I notice it's like, what am I doing? I'm doing something. And I'm like rubbing my stomach because I have a pain that I've been dealing with right here, like off and on. And the whole time I'm sitting there rubbing it, I was like, that looks weird. And I didn't notice it when I was editing, so I didn't like. I would have added like a note in there, like a pop-up text to say, oh, I'm rubbing my stomach. I'm having stomach issues. Nope. So I just look like a weirdo just rubbing my stomach. How weird. And it's not even like a belly rub thing. I'm like, I don't now White Castle. White Castle I've heard is disgusting, and I've heard that people just absolutely love it, and I don't know. We don't have White Castles here, so I don't know anything about White Castle, but I think you have to go to Vegas for the nearest White Castle, which I watched. I think it was Markiplier. Markiplier bought a van just so he can stream and record videos of him. He did a stream where he drove. He bought a van and drove to Vegas, recording it the whole time of him going to White Castle. But I have never been to White Castle. I've been to Vegas a few times. I'm not a fan of Vegas. I way too many people. It's just constantly crowded. But at I never have problems with Taco Bell, but apparently all the stand-up comedians have bitch ass digestive tracts. Yes, never buy the frozen, not the same. Oh yeah, yeah, I've never had the frozen ones either, but not even close. I didn't even know there was frozen White Castle until recently. I think someone mentioned that last like a week or two ago in the stream. I didn't even know that existed. But yeah, that I don't see how that would be anywhere near close. That would just be gross. And if are they like the entire burger, or is it just the meat? They have no effect but nap time. It makes me think of the supernatural episode with the Leviathans, where they were putting the goop into the burgers to make people like almost like drugged all the time, making them fat and lazy and like almost hypnotic, so that almost comatose, so that the Leviathans can just feed on them. 42, nice. So trying to beat your record of how many White Castle like little sliders you can eat. Didn't you say you could eat like 4 bags or something? Or you ate 4 bags and a bag of fries or something? Seems almost deadly. Boom. You'll freaking have a stroke from. What did he die from? Oh, too much, too many White Castle burgers. Stuffed himself to death. You know what's really cool? Speaking of that, speaking of death, is on the secret server. Somebody passed away, unfortunately, it seemed like once a week somebody was passing away that was in the secret server, and so they were having some funeral thing every single day, where people would get together and say thanks and memories and whatever. It was happening all the time. But there was one character who was very uh, active in the community, and he was always like putting on different raids and stuff, and just very active. And so Leo stuck his character in the Richter Warzone. Is it still the Warzone? RWZ. Yeah. I'm getting confused because it used to be the Richter Crash Site. RS or CS. It's RWZ, Richter Warzone. Yeah, so if you go to the little base over by the mothership, his character is standing there. And he added it in. And because Leo handed the code over to Homecoming, as is, it's still there. So even on Homecoming server, if you go over there, his character is still there. So if I ever die, you guys better make sure they wreck this massive 50-foot statue of me in the freaking AE building. I expect everybody to sign a petition or something. Make sure I have my own statue and architect. Or hell, just change me into Atlas. I want to be Atlas. I want to be Atlas holding up the world in the middle of Atlas. That's what I want. Can you be the mission architect, Atlas? You have a heart condition? That sucks. Too many White Castles, I'm telling you. White Castle's trying to kill you. It'll be the statue floating like the truck under Pocket D. Well, if that's the case, it better at least have a badge you can come get if you go visit it. I'm all floating above the mission architect building. Architect entertainment. And it won't even be like a good floating statue. It'll be like that, like when you get hit with the confuse or the, I don't know, the controller power that like locks you up and you're all stiff and you're just like all stiff like moving around. It won't even be something graceful and attractive. It'll be all awkward and embarrassing. That is the source of the fog. It's a statue of Rostov getting high. All the smoke is coming from his blunt. The badge would be burnt. The fire farmer badge. Why didn't this guy get over here? Come on, that's actually my character that I added in. Ath. Get your freaking ass over here. Get your ath over here. Quit being an asshole. That's freaking. That's a weird science. He's an asshole, Lisa. Into the hybrid slot, you've unlocked all but 1 and 2 runs. Yup, doctors say I have 1 foot in the ground as it is with the autoimmune disorder. It actually cuts my lifespan. Jeez. That's crazy. What autoimmune disease do you have? That sucks. We were actually just talking to somebody who was dealing with that recently. I don't know. What are you doing in there, babe? What are you making? Tuna sandwiches. I wanted steak. Or Carl's Jr. or Taco Bell. We don't have any Taco Bell in the cupboards? You can't make Taco Bell? Come on. Shrimp fried rice? I want shrimp fried rice. You can make tacos now, though. Oh, I guess you have to get Taco Bell. Weight Watchers. You can lose 3 pounds by eating Taco Bell and going to the gym. Okay, Brigg, I have the name of the city my wife is going to. Calabasas? I have no idea how to pronounce that. The Baron Mac disorder, I call it, is the same thing he died of. Oh, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac. That's fine. The Bernie Mac disorder. There's another one who died way too young. Yeah, we were. Someone we know recently was. They're dealing with an autoimmune disease right now too. Calabasas? Calabasas? I don't know what that is. I don't know where that is. Never heard of it. I'm assuming that's down south. I need a transcriber. Someone just write down what I say so I can remember what I said. Rock the Casbah. Are we all done? I think we are. I'm in Ohio. I can pronounce that better than you. Oh, well, it might not necessarily be how you would think it sounds, though. It may not actually be pronounced in like a Spanish style. And maybe originally it was, but it's probably been dummied down. What? Sure. Mm, no, because there's only like a couple bites left. I saw it already peeked in there. The gateway to Santa Monica Mountains recreational area. Really? Well, I want to say it's pronounced like Calabasas, but it's probably Calabasas. It's a weird word though. That's what I'm getting at though. That's a very odd word. Calabasas. It's probably pronounced something like. It's probably over time been Americanized to like Calabasas or something. Calabasas. Yes, touch the glowy. Yes, please. And boom, there goes the elite boss. You got places like Ashtabulu. That's not a real place. That's somewhat something out of Morrowind. No, I'm kidding. I believe you. That looks like something out of Morrowind. The Ashlander tribe. Totally looks like something out of Morrowind. Hate being forced work because with all my health issues, I can't work at all. Great fun. I don't know how people do it, not working and staying home. Okay, taking off to make some store run. Thanks again. Yep, my pleasure, Rasta. Um, you know what? I was dealing with that too, and what helped me get through it was staying creative, finding a way to stay creative, and so I ended up making a board game, which I do have a link in the description. If you guys want to check it out, it'll take you to GameCrafter. It is available to purchase. GameCrafter is one of those sites that can produce your game, but it's a site that produce your game one at a time or in bulk. So they do get a little more pricey than like a distributor that can do bulk runs. But I was really struggling with like when I was on workers comp, and I didn't know what to do. And once I had the idea to create a board game, and it was satisfying. I mean, I kept me entertained, and not necessarily entertained, but just doing something. And because I was getting like depressed, like if I'm not creating something, I get just downright depressed, and it really helped. And then when I finished it, I got started getting depressed again. So, I mean, working on the Star Wars City Heroes and creating the new characters for the Comic Con farm, helped alleviate that. I would work on that every couple days, add a new character, and that was fun. And then it would get to a point where I didn't have anything to do. I wasn't creating anything, and so I would start focusing on something else and start working creating something else. But I found that if I wasn't creating something, I would just get really down and bored, and I didn't know what to do. And I realized that in my work, my my everyday job, as a floor installer, I am a floor installer, and you're pretty much being creative every day, all day, and it never changes. I mean, yeah, I can lay the same flooring every single day, but every day is going to be I'm creating something new and different, and it was very satisfying. So it met that need. But I mean, one, it helped me identify that if I'm feeling down, it's because I'm not being creative. And I do have room. Who do we lose? Rasta just left. Invite to team. Yeah, but that's what worked for me. So I guess the trick is finding what it would be for you. Um, Finding what outlet needs to be satisfied. For me, is creativity. And I'm gonna be 42, so I mean it took me up until past 40 for me to realize that. But it's creativity. If I'm feeling depressed, it's because I'm not creating something. So, and during high school, I was writing books, and um, when I was younger, I was drawing my own comic books. And as after high school, I was actually working on writing books again. And so as long as I'm staying creative, I'm good. There was something else I did too to stay creative more recently, and I can't figure out what it is. I created a video game for my board game. No, that's not what I meant. I mean, other than the YouTube, um, I mean, the YouTube's really helped me stay creative because I'm editing and stuff, and there's a lot of creativity there. So the YouTube really keeps me busy and helps meet the creative need as well. Yeah, I did make a video game before the board game, and I still need to finish that. I started that a few years back, and for the first year, I was solid working on it, and every day for like 16 hours a day. And it's actually a really long game. It's really fun, but work got too busy, and then which is a good thing. But I didn't finish it. It got to a point where I kind of felt like I was almost had like a writer's block. I'm actually seeing a therapist right now because it's driving me bananas. No, yeah. Just so you know, my stream isn't as elaborate as yours. Still working on the overlays for the most part. Dude, I'm not judging you. I won't judge. Don't feel like I'm gonna judge you. I did my overlays because I mean, like I've been saying, I'm creative. Like the overlays with my picture. You know, I don't know if this is the right size, but um, I made that so it matches City Heroes. So, and then my overlays for the little stuff. But and this is not elaborate either. This is very basic, and we're using basic images. I mean, some people have like animated stuff all over the screen. Different boxes here and there that show different stuff and things you can actually click on. You can't click on any of the stuff I have. Um, and I know how to do that. I actually have a program that sets up a lot of the stuff, and but it uses broadband. It uses your internet, and I don't want something constantly stealing away from the stream quality, so I don't use them. But they're there. I mean, I know how to do them. So I stuck with the basics. The only thing that I have that's a little more effort is um, is the counts, the YouTube sub counts. Where would they be? This way? Are they this way? I think they're this way. I don't know. Um, the YouTube sub counts and the view count, they're actually pulled from a website that does live counts, and so they're always up to date. And then of course the subscription notifications, which I never get to see myself, which is kind of a bummer. I need to figure out how to do that, how to see that. Because when I hear it, I instinctively go to look at the screen, but the screen I'm looking at is also delayed like yours is, so I don't see it. And there's nothing like anywhere showing me that it's popped up. So I think it all comes down to is I'm not looking at the correct stream, the correct screen, or the correct notification, and I just don't. I haven't looked into it, and I should. It would probably take me 10 minutes to go find it and go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I just never get around to it. This morning, I actually had a few minutes available before I started. So I started jumping through Twitch TV, Twitch, and started checking out other people's like City Heroes streams. And I like to go on Twitch and just support other people, especially if they're, recording City or streaming City of Heroes. I used to go over there all the time and go check out people who were streaming my Comic Con farms. They don't do it anymore. But in the beginning, there was like 4, 5, 6 going a day. So I'd go over there and say thank you, and I would drop like 100 million influence on them, and I would add them, put like a thank you to them in the pop-ups for the farm, and so. But now though, you don't see them anymore. But now I usually just if you're streaming City Heroes, there's a good chance I'm gonna pop in and say hi and promote the stream, just because they're doing City of Heroes. So far, I got a 2-second delay. That's impossible. How can you have a 2-second delay? It's usually at least 30 seconds. I mean, 2 seconds off. If it's that on point, that'd be awesome. But yeah, I don't want to be stuck with just, you know, like recording or streaming City Heroes. I would like to branch out a little bit because the channel's not going to grow if I'm, wrapped up in just one community. So I'm trying to expand the community, which is why I try to promote or put out videos for other games, not just City Heroes. Like I've got the Jedi one. I've got random games I find on Steam, but it just helps like grow the channel because the channel can only get as big as what you're working on. And City Heroes has a cap of how many people. Like anything, like my buddy, he's kind of his subs have kind of mellowed out around I think 7 or 8 thousand, but he primarily streams Fortnite, and I keep trying to get him to come join me. I was like, you might be able to open up a little bit and spread your wings if we can kind of branch out to something different. You can get new blood, new people, new faces. But he's got some pretty good streams. I mean, he's got quite a few people. I mean, 8,000 people is a lot of people. And there's usually like 150 people watching his streams when he's on. So I mean, he's got a very good sized community. But I think he's looking for more growth at this point. Really, I think he's capped with his. I mean, not necessarily capped. I mean, it'll steadily grow, I believe. But I mean, with you're only going to get so much from one community, one primary community. I feel bad when Positive Gamers plays a different game. All of a sudden, everybody starts giving him crap because he's not playing City Heroes. And I'm like, dude, you gotta let him branch out a little bit. But I mean, like me, we have a specific, like most of us, like many of us here, we have a special place for City of Heroes. I was gonna say Heart, City of Heart, City of Heroes, City of Heartos. And the fact that it's miraculously back, available for everybody. Talk about something you never thought would happen, right? I mean, that in itself is just a miracle. Makes me think other miracles are possible. I I used to dream all the time that I was playing City Heroes when I couldn't, and it used to break my heart. I'd wake up in the morning, going, "I'm gonna play City Heroes." Oh, I can't. And and I have dreams all the time about Borders bookstore. I don't know if many of you remember Borders, but I loved Borders. I worked there for um, several years, 4 or 5 years, and when the housing market had like slowed down and there was no work for flooring, so had a job there. But I often dream that I'm there. I reopened the store myself. I started my own, and I brought everyone back, and and we're at it again. City of Hearts, Kingdom Heroes, Kingdom Heroes 2. But I dream all the time. So now with City Heroes back, I think maybe it's possible. If that miracle can be answered, maybe we can have Borders bookstore back. But I have dreams. It's funny because I run into those people and they're like, they've moved on to bigger, better things in life, but they all say the same thing. If Borders came back, I would go back in an instant. And I would too. I make I do really well in my job. I have a lot of freedom in my job. There's a lot of creativity outlet in my job. I really enjoy my job. Like most jobs, it's the people that make it crappy. Dealing with people just is hard, but I like my job. It's a really neat thing to do. It's different every single day. I have the freedom to come and go when I please. I don't have to worry about you know, clocking in and clocking out. I do have to race the clock. It is not a job where you're like, oh my gosh, I've been here for like an hour and you look at the clock and it's only been 5 minutes. No, in my job, you look at the clock and go, oh my god, I've been here for an hour. And you look at the clock and 8 hours have gone by and you're like, son of a bitch, I'm not done. Like you're constantly racing the clock to finish what you're doing. Because you have to finish. When you're doing flooring, you have to finish your job that day. Because the next day you're going to be at someone else's house in a different city. So you have to finish. And sometimes their furniture is on the front lawn. You got to be able to put it back. So, but I've got a good job and make good money. But if Borders came back, I may ditch it all to go back. I love that job. It was just a fun job. I would do a lot of things different. I mean, age and experience has taught me a lot of things since then, but it was fun. And I used to complain about the people then too there, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're nothing. I've had way worse experiences, way worse than I could ever deal with there. That place was just a happy, fun place. Black market Borders. I actually had started the whole process to opening my own bookstore. I'm sorry, Mrs. C. Your couch got snow on it. We had to be very careful of the weather. Even just sunlight. Everything had to be covered up, and you had to be very careful. If you're usually I didn't leave stuff outside like that. I always joke about leaving the furniture on the front lawn, but I mean, that's I've never actually left people's furniture on the front lawn. But to make my point clear, that's the easiest way to explain it. Usually you stick it in another room or maybe in the garage or just somewhere out of the way. But I mean, if you have to put it outside at some point or even on the porch or whatever, you got to make sure you cover it up. There was one time I had to stick it out in the backyard, but they had a big patio, but it wasn't covered, so we had to cover it all up with blankets. And I was telling the lady, I was like, because I was like, I need stuff to cover your furniture, and she's like, you don't have it? I was like, no, we don't normally do this. We don't normally stick your stuff outside like this, but we don't really have an option, and this is where you want us to put it. So if that's the case, then you have to be able to accommodate that. And so she got a bunch of blankets, and I said, I need to warn you though, these are going to be out in the sun for a few hours. They are going to stain. They are going to get kind of bleached out. It's like even in a few hours, I was like, oh yeah, in a half hour, they're going to start to get bleached out. The color is going to fade. There's nothing you can do about it. You want to stick some more blankets on top of it, you can, but it's going to fade. And she's like, well, I just get some white ones and they won't get bleached. I said, no, they'll turn yellow. I was like, whatever you put out here is going to change color. There's nothing you can do about it. But so if you got some really cheap sheets, bring them out. We'll cover it up. But it's that of your furniture. So people are the hard part of dealing with any job. You could have the best job in the world. People can ruin it for you. Titled people. That goes with anything and everything, though. I used to think that it was bad at Borders because it's retail. I used to think it was really bad, and it wasn't until I went to Lens Crafters afterwards that I realized, oh, Borders wasn't nothing. Lens Crafters, you're combining medical and retail, two of the worst businesses that have the worst type of negative customers. I was like, oh my gosh, it was unreal. The people you have to deal with is just unreal. And we were very good, like I'm very stubborn in making sure that if the company has a specific policy, then I'm going to make sure we adhere to it. And I did. One of the things that we had to deal with is with lens crafters is we had to make sure that when someone comes in for their doctor's appointment, we had to see them within. We had to get them started on their pre whatever. What's it called? I don't know. Pre-testing for before they see the doctor within 20 minutes from their appointment. And and I mean that was the policy. We had to have them back there within 20 minutes. And I made sure that we abided by that. And and if we got behind somewhere, it doesn't matter if my pre-testers got behind. If I had to pick up the chart myself to make and go back there and start one to get it back on track, I would do it. But we were always within 20 minutes. And I would have people come in screaming and yelling at me because they had to have waited and it had only been like 4 minutes. I had an appointment at this time. I should be taken back at this time. I'm sorry, ma'am. Our policy is we have to get you back within 20 minutes. We are going to get you back within 20 minutes. And we would make sure we tell people over the phone, come in at this time. You need to check in, and I make sure they tell them that. Make sure you tell them that they need to check in. Yes, touch it. Make sure you check in at a specific time. Do not tell them their appointment is a certain time. Tell them they need to check in at a specific time, and it would never fail. If people still come in and they throw a fit, I've been waiting here for 5 minutes. Why haven't I been seen yet? And you're like, 5 minutes? Have you never been to a doctor's office before? I've waited an hour before. But yeah, love jobs where people scream and yell at you. I love it that they think they can and it's okay. And I would tell my employees if someone is screaming and yelling and cussing at you, you do not have to take that. Walk away, come find me. I will tell them to get the fuck out. And I would. And they throw a fit, I call the police. I will have you arrested and escorted out. It is not okay to scream at people at their jobs. And but unfortunately, corporate America has made people feel that that's the appropriate thing to do. You throw enough of a fit, you get what you want. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. I mean, and that's the mentality we all have. And I remember, even as a kid, I learned that too. From I mean, the entitlement thing is not that's not something that's new. When I was a kid, I learned that from my parents, watching my parents. If somebody tried to screw up a electric bill, they would call them throwing fit until they got what they want. I picked up on it. I learned it too. And so when it comes with like electricity or stuff like that, I have found myself doing that too. Retail though is a different story. I do not treat people like that. If you're being a dick or a jerk, I will snap. But but I don't treat people like that. I don't expect something that I'm not owed or whatever. And even then, I won't treat them like crap. But like the one time I even pushed that sense of thinking was when I went to Walmart and I bought a headset. And it was like a $10 headset. It was exactly what I was looking for. I was super excited to get it. It was on a display and there was a ton of them. It was on a display, $10. Cool. I got it. I brought it up there. They wanted to charge me like $40 for it. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I go, the display said $10. And they're like, no, it's $40. And I said, no, it's. I go, no, it's $10. Oh, somebody put it in the wrong spot then. No. And at the time, I was working at Lens Crafters. I had managed borders. I was like, I know how retail works. I realize that people often stick things where they don't belong. This is a display that says $10. And they're like, no, it's not. I said, and then by that point, my wife walked back there and she took a picture, but she was having trouble finding it. So I was like, go back there. And so I made the cashier and the manager go back there. And they saw it. And I was like, oh, okay, somebody made a mistake. We set it up wrong. It was a display and it said 11.99 or some 11.49 or something. I'm like, isn't there like a screw up here where someone just stuck something wrong place? This was set up there. And I was like, look, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I realize I know how retail works. I'm not trying to be entitled, but I came here in the purpose of buying something. I chose this based on the price that you guys had displayed and set up, and based on retail, you need to honor that because that's the bait and switch type thing. That's against the law. So if you've misrepresented something, that's not my fault. I came to the counter with the intention of buying this at this price because that is what you promoted it as, and you need to honor that. That's the only time that I've pushed that. And even then, it was a dick move to do. I still felt kind of dickish, but I mean, in all fairness, they displayed it at that price. Accidents happen, but you know, I would have been pissed if all of a sudden I had to like pay 4 times the amount or walk away with nothing because I was excited. Because the reason why I was so adamant about making sure that they honor that was I was so excited because I didn't even know they made that type anymore. It was the kind that kind of wrap around your ears and then go back. So the top piece is in the back and not in the way, doesn't jack up your hair. And I was so excited I found it, and it was only $10. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. It's only $10, dude. We're buying it. And I wasn't gonna buy it, and because of the price point and the display, I decided to buy it. So now my heart's set on it, and when my heart's set on something, I don't give up. And so I went to the counter going, I'm buying this, and suddenly they're telling me, oh no, it's 4 times the amount. I'm like, no, damn it. You're gonna give me this for what I freaking saw it for. You're not gonna freaking ruin this hype I've got because I was excited. But yeah, I felt like a jerk. What? Why? I'm sorry. You're going to Taco Bell? Okay, well my stomach's actually hurting again, my little pain. But I'm hungry though. I need to eat. That might be why it's hurting. Maybe I'm hungry. But it's I keep like poking at it. I don't know if I'm poking at it on the stream this whole time, but I realize I've been poking at it. I'm having a pain. A pain. I need to go to the doctor, but with everything I've been dealing with lately, with my ankle and the workers' comp and the lawyers, I don't want to go to the doctor and deal with one more thing. I've got too much going on. No more. I need to though because I realized my wife had to go to the doctor because she's having a minor procedure next month, and we were at the doctor and he was talking about some stuff, and so I started doing the math, and I've been dealing with it for a year, and I'm like, oh man, and all I could think about was people who go in for cancer surprises Like, oh, if he'd come in sooner when it first happened, we could have caught it and stopped it. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be one of those. I need to go to, I need to go to the doctor. I need to do it soon. Make sure there's nothing going on. I'm thinking it's a hernia though. I think it's what I got. I think I got a hernia or ulcers. Be right back. You're gonna send your girlfriend to work? Okay. Are you like her pimp? You gotta send her to the street? I don't know how you send her to work. It's not like you didn't say take her to work. You're gonna send her to work. What does that mean? You gotta give her marching orders. Hit the streets, suck a lot of dick, and bring home the cash. Poor Damien. I just freaking said your girlfriend's a freaking prostitute, dude. LOL, pimp. I'm the juggernaut. uh, my pimping hand. I need to watch that again. It's been too long. That was before the meme days. That's like old school internet. You know what movie I need to watch again is Hot Rod. Some people were talking about Hot Rod recently and how it's just such an awesome movie. And I remember it was a stupid movie, but it came out. Things are different now with memes and whatnot, and the culture and the internet and stuff. I think I need to watch it again because now I think it would be perfect. Like Anchorman. Anchorman was a weird movie, but now it's almost like a cult phenomenon. Everybody loves it, and you have so many memes that came from like that escalated quickly. That's from Anchorman. But it's such a like stupid movie. It's funny, but it in a stupid way. It's just a dumb movie, and it's just corny. And that's the way Hot Rod is. And I think we need to give Hot Rod another chance and rewatch it because it actually might be really funny. And it was just way before its time. I need to check it out. Andy Sandberg. I really like him. I liked him in Parks and Rec too. He's like always yelling. He's got like an inner ear issue, so he's always yelling until a girl hits on him. All of a sudden, he gets really quiet. You're watching the NFL game. Are the playoffs still going on? I thought they were over. My my fantasy league is over. Why is it still going on? I figured we were on the break by now before the Super Bowl. It's getting good, really. Who's playing? Is he gonna actually hear me? Is he actually see it? Is he gonna be too distracted? Does anybody else know who's playing? Who's playing today? I mean, by now they've already. I'm sure they've already got a pretty good prediction who's going to be in the Super Bowl. Not that that's like set in stone, but usually the prediction's pretty accurate at this point. See, I'm a Raiders fan. I've born and raised in California. My family is all mostly Raiders fans. So I don't really watch football. I don't really watch sports. Not that I don't enjoy sports. My wife hates it when we go to a restaurant that has sports up on a TV screen because I get instantly get hooked and I ignore everything else. But I don't go looking for sports to go watch. But but I've always been a Raiders fan, and it's a team you like to hate, I guess. I don't know why. I'm miserable watching them every year when I do watch. And then now they're going to Vegas. I'm like, nope, I'm done. But I remember when they went to the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers, and man, typical Raiders fashion, they just were obliterated. Granted, the Buccaneers coach was their coach the previous year, so they knew all their plays, which is kind of stupid when you think about it. If your password gets stolen, you change your password. Did the Raiders change their plays? No. We'll just use the same ones, even though the head coach of the opposing team knows our plays. It's fine. We'll be fine. He knew exactly how to hit him and where. That's a line from Independence Day, I believe. That was such a disappointing game. So frustrating. Not my stepfather. My stepfather was a hardcore Tampa Bay fan. He freaking loved that game, which is ironic because my stepfather was is like raised. I don't know if he was born there, but he was raised in the L.A. area. Like he grew up there, and you would think he would have been an Oakland fan, a freaking Chargers fan, or a Raiders fan, but no, not an Oakland fan, but a Raiders or a Chargers or a Rams fan, and he wasn't. He was Tampa Bay. I don't know why. Now he's a Rams fan, and when Rams came back, he became a Rams fan. I just don't know why. It doesn't make any sense unless he was just fighting against the norm. Hockey team in Vegas is weird. Well, that's true. A hockey team in Vegas is very odd. But, Raiders are going to Vegas now, so. But a hockey team, yeah. Well, there's hockey teams here, too. What is it? The San Jose Sharks, I believe it is? There's no freaking snow in San Jose. San Jose is year round sun. I don't even know if it rains in San Jose. I'm sure it does, but I mean, it's we're talking about like a place that's had missions and stuff. It's just like in the movies where, back in the day it was probably like a desert with a little church mission, San Jose. But there's no ice there. And they have a hockey team too. Jamaica had a bobsled team. That is true too. Our we have a like one of the I don't remember what it's called. Is the Grizzlies the hockey we have? It's for the Fresno State University here. They're supposed to have like a decent hockey team. One of these days I would like to go. I've never been to a hockey game. Oh, the LA Kings? Is the LA Kings, is that a hockey team? All I can think about is the basketball team, which I believe is Sacramento. Now I'm getting all of them confused. Because the basketball for LA is Clippers and the Lakers. I think it's Sacramento Kings. It's in Anaheim though? So are the Angels for baseball. Now we're getting all kinds more. See, I was really into the Twins, but again, that was like a local thing. Our local AAA team was owned by the Minnesota Twins, even though we're in California. I don't know how that works, but it was the Oaks, and because of our oak trees, because we're known for oak trees, and Minnesota Twin owns them. Kirby Puckett was on the team, And when Kirby Puckett got drafted to the majors, I followed Kirby Puckett to the Twins. So I was a Twins fan. And then years later, they became World Series winners, which was really cool. And not cool when everybody's like, "Oh, you're switching to the Twins because they won the World Series." No, bitch. I've been watching since they were in the freaking minor leagues. But I follow the Twins, so I was a big Twins fan. And then the Twins went to crap, and I stopped watching. But I would actually go to the games. I enjoy watching locally or playing. I'm way out of shape for playing anymore, though. Like we used to get together on Christmas and play basketball in the front on the street. The last time I did it, I almost died. Like I had to stop. I had to go get some water. I had to slowly pace myself drinking it. I was going to die. I was like, I am way out of shape. I can't be running around like this. Because I was all out running. Like I was everywhere. I was all over the place. I love playing sports, but it's hard. I really regret not joining the defense in high school. Man, my life would be totally different. I really wish I would have stayed in on defense, or I wish I would have joined the defense because the coach wanted me to go on defense. It would have been so much fun. Pretty sure I've talked about this before, but man, I would have loved to tackle people. I really missed that out. I missed out on tackling people. It's not really a something I can put on a bucket list without risking getting in trouble somehow. I don't know how I would. I mean, I'm sure there's a way. Get people together and all wear all wear uniform and pads and everything, and it's all right. We're gonna be tackling. I don't know. Feel like I would break something. Man, if I freaking oh man, I can barely get up and down now. I'm floor installer and I still have trouble getting up and down. Usually when I'm at work though, I'm on my knees all day long. I know how that sounds. But I crawl around and do most of my work on the floor. I mean, granted, I do have to get up and down, but mostly I'm crawling around. I've gotten to a point though where when I'm at work, like I'm always dealing with pains. I've always have some sort of pain going on when I'm at work. Laying flooring is a lot of work. And it's gotten to the point though that now I can't help myself. Like when I get up, there's a grunt that comes with it. There's a noise. Like getting up and down involves an involuntary noise I make, and I just can't help it. It's just it comes out. It's not something I can control. It's like, how old are you? Oh, the age where when I move I make noises. Your mind is in the gutter. Yeah, my wife too. She's in the freaking kitchen, just keeps repeating. That's what she says. That's what she said. Oh, that's what she said. I'm like, shut up, dirty mind. So you're not the only one. Die, Lee bosses, die. Oh, about to run out of energy. Rusty pipes. Boom! Whoa, that was like a big ring that went around that guy. Are we done? Is that cleared over here? Rusty pipes on your knees? Yeah. My knees, my whole body's just a one big rusty pipe. And it's weird because like my back is really bad. Like doing flooring for 20 some odd years, it just ruined my back. And you would think they would. Why isn't it the opposite? Like, why isn't like my back super strong from all the like lifting and stuff I've done over the years? My back, you think the muscles have been strengthened. My back should be super strong, but that's not the case. It's not the case at all. And I feel like that should be the case. I feel like it should be like strengthened and my back should be iron solid. No problems. Nope. It's war thin. Yeah, in 10 years, I'm going to have to do something about my back. There's no getting around it. Wait till 50? Yeah. Imagine that's going to be rough. I'm really concerned about um like I mean as early as like my mid 20s after I've been doing flooring since I was 18. So when I was 25, so like 7 years, I was already getting where my hands would lock around the steering wheel. So I'd be driving because every morning I'm driving somewhere when I'm going to work. I got to drive to somebody's house to do their floor. So, I could be driving an hour and a half away. I could be driving 20 minutes, but I'd be driving and my fingers would lock around the steering wheel. And I wouldn't be able to get them off without severe pain. And I would just pull. And then I'd have to get over there and like try to pull my fingers off one by one. And I was like, oh my God, I'm 25. What's this going to be like when I'm 50? So yeah, I'm really concerned because now I'm gonna be 42, and I'm really concerned. Like, oh man, am I gonna have like severe arthritis here in 10 years? Am I already having arthritis in different parts of my body, and that's why I'm having issues? And it's only a matter of time. Oh man, I just don't want to be like I ran into. You never see old carpet installers. But I met one, and like most of the older carpet installers I've known, have died on the job. Have had heart attacks on the job. And my cousin, who's now retired, but I mean, he's gonna be. I think he's close to 70 actually. He's actually the one who trained me. He's close to 70, and he's actually up and kicking around still, so he's doing good. But I did meet a old gentleman, and he was much older. Um, yeah, I'm gonna need SSDI by 50. Yeah. Uh, well, right now I'm supposed to go seek a doctor here very soon, and he's supposed to determine my disability rate, probably um, percentage rate of my momentum or movement or whatever for my ankle, because my ankle's never gonna be 100% again. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know how I'm supposed to go back to work because if I put any pressure on my ankle, and it's healed, it's like I can't walk. I'm in severe pain. And I'm like, how am I supposed to get down on my knees and do my job if I can't get down on my knees and do my job? But so anyway, I met this gentleman. He was much older, and he was a floor installer. He had been a floor installer, and this guy was in a wheelchair. Um, he was pretty beat down, and his fingers were all kind of gnawed up. And I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be me. And but the one thing he did kept going. I have a lot of calluses, massive calluses on my knuckles, which my grandmother used to go, "Well, do you have a disease? Do you need to see a doctor? What is that?" They're calluses, grandma. But his were all like cleared up, and I go, your hands don't look like you had calluses. He goes, they cleared up. It took several years, but they eventually all cleared up. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I haven't been to work in a while, and mine have pretty much cleared up too in a year. I mean, they're kind of there. You can kind of see them, but um, normally when I'm working, they're giant, massive, like just white, and they look pretty cleared up now. They're still there when you look close enough, but they're not too bad. But his had went all gone away, but his body had been beaten down though. But for the most part, though, like my knees are okay. I don't have the issues with my knees. I don't have like the water on the knee type deal. My knees are okay. Granted, they're very sensitive. Like I can't crawl on the floor very well without knee pads because it's instant pain. But other than that, my knees are generally okay. Not like most installers, or they're just tore up. But the thing is, with most installers, is they don't wear knee pads all the time. They'll wear it when they're on solid concrete, a bare floor. You need a mani pedi. um, but once they get the carpet on the floor, they're back to their bare knees. And I was like, nope, I will wear knee pads all day long. I have had cortisone shots in my knees, and yeah, no, never again. So now when I wear my knee pads all the time. Do not want cortisone shots. Yep. Calluses you're gonna get from construction. Yep. I got so many calluses, nicks, cuts, and bruises, scars. Not bruises, but scars. Especially with the blade. The blade you use for cutting carpet is called the Bloody Mary. It's a four-sided blade that, if it cuts you, you won't know it. You won't feel it. You won't notice until you see all the blood on the floor and you're like, is somebody bleeding? Oh shit, it's me. You had cortisone shot in your right knee last week. It's yeah, it's not fun. When they did mine, they had to do both sides separately on both knees, and they brought in two big old Samoan wrestlers. Now they weren't wrestlers; they were doctors, but they were Samoan, and they were built like big Samoans, and they were brought in to hold me down. Now they didn't need them. I actually just grinned and bared it the whole time, and it was rough. It freaking hurt. But they were brought in specifically to hold me down because it was gonna hurt. Because they dig that needle in there and then they move it around in there. Oh my god, it was bad. The cortisone didn't work. You know what? It actually made my knee feel worse, more sensitive, but it enabled me to start getting around okay because before that I couldn't even crawl into bed. My pants just touching my knee would drop me to the floor. It was really bad. Oh, you barely felt it? Oh, not the one they did for me. Oh no, the ones I did, you felt them. And this was 20 years ago, but still, you felt them. I don't know if it was different. Maybe it's different now. It was a big deal then. And everybody warns you too. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna hurt. I don't know. Maybe they do it different now. That would be interesting. Or maybe it's just like a different type of shot. I don't know. Yeah, my knee was so bad because I was still young. I think I was 20. But the first 2 years of doing flooring, I was like, I'm a man. I was 18. I was a man. I ain't wearing no knee pads. I don't need no knee pads. I'm a man. Yeah, after 2 years, I could no longer get down on my knees. I couldn't have any pressure on my knees whatsoever. It started out like a minor sharp pain. It was a sharp pain, but it wasn't nearly as severe, and it would go away. So I started like sticking a piece of pad inside my knee pad to like have double padding, and then I started adding another, and then another, and eventually got to the point that I couldn't have any pressure on my knees, so I couldn't get down on the floor. and I literally could not crawl into bed. Like I couldn't put any pressure against my knees whatsoever. I'm not kidding when I said that my pants couldn't touch them. My pants could not touch my legs. Just the pressure of anything against my knees just dropped me. So I had to go to get cortisone shots, and it was bad. I mean, maybe it was so bad because I was already in such severe pain. That's why, because they were already inflamed. So they were sticking the inflamed tendon with the needle. Maybe that's why it was so bad. I don't know. It was bad though. But they knew it was going to be bad. Like they warned me, this is going to hurt. They didn't tell me afterwards. They waited till after they were done that the two guys standing there were there to hold me down. He goes, "You didn't even need them. You did good." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know there was gonna be people that hold me down. I was just okay. It's gonna hurt. Let's do it. Let's just get it over with." 20 years ago, they front load the needles with lidocaine. Oh, that now they front load it. That's interesting. Turn your head and cough. Damien needs to have a physical apparently, or he wants to. Yeah, that was an ordeal, but it did help. I mean, it took a couple weeks, but within even like the next day, I could tell like, oh, okay, I can actually put some pressure. And I mean, that after I went right back to work, they gave me the cornerstones, and I went to work that day, and I was actually able to do my job because it was getting to the point that I couldn't do it. It wasn't gonna fly, and I was just an assistant at the time, learning the trade. Get down on your knees and tell me you love me. I don't remember that scene in Home Alone. Oh no, he does say that. He does say that to him. That's exactly what he says. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. I actually watched a documentary on that movie, and it was very interesting. Like, that movie almost didn't get made. Uh, there was a coup that happened. The producer decided they were going to shut the movie down. So, without the producer knowing, before he officially fired everybody, he got another producer, their enemies, their opponents, their competitor, to sign them before they were actually fired. And so the moment that the guy left, he said, "Oh," he went to everybody's office and said, "You're not fired. We're now with this company now with this producer. We now work for MGM or whatever." They went through a lot of stuff to get that movie made. That was a big ordeal. And they all thought it was going to be a horrible movie. It's funny when they told the second producer, they told him about the movie. They're like, "Dude, that sounds like an awesome idea," and that's why he was so adamant about getting it going. But I'm like, "Oh my god, it would be. I don't want to. That'd be horrible to live in a world without Home Alone. Come on, that was a great movie. All kinds of fun lines from that movie. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Keep the change, ma'am. I'm 9 years old. Do you think I'd be here alone? I don't think so. You give up or you're thirsty for more. And I think he caused some horse's ass at one point. That scene with the tarantula. We're gonna call it. It's 2 o'clock, so I think this is gonna be our last one because I've been going for about 4 hours. So I'm gonna call it and have lunch, and then I gotta start the purge. Let's kill the ferret here. I gotta start clearing out my computer for the external drive to get the SSD set up. Yep, here's the thing. So yeah, I guess I should have said last time that we'll probably. I didn't realize we'd be in here for another 30 minutes, but I am gonna go ahead and call it on the stream so I can eat because it is 2 o'clock and I am starving. Oh, Macaulay Culkin is awesome. It's really sad how much bad press he got because of one image of him. He was a grunge guy. He was in a band. He had the grunge look. He had his own band, and people saw that and goes, "Oh, he's cracked out. He's on meth. Meth is a hell of a drug." He has never done meth in his life. He's never done anything like that. He is a big advocate for marijuana, and he does smoke weed, but he's never done meth. He's actually a very proper person, and he's very nerdy, and he just has a look, and people think he's like a drug addict. He is not. That was all just fake news. And he got such a bad rap. I mean, I fell for it too. I was like, "Oh, poor Macaulay Culkin, he's all cracked out." No, that was just his style. He made an effort to look like that. Let you know how the purge goes. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully when I shut everything down, the computer comes back. That's my problem. Or if hopefully it comes back and doesn't have a blue screen, because that's usually my issue. Is I'll get it to start, it loads, okay, good, fingers crossed, blue screen of death. So, so, but yes, but anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate everybody showing up for the stream. It really does help me out. If you can help me out, share my YouTube channel with your friends, whatever. We're at 306 subscribers, so that is awesome. It's coming along. I mean, I'm really happy with it. It's definitely coming along. So, but thank you everyone. I will definitely see you again next Sunday. By chance, if some crazy thing happens and I stream, hopefully you all get notifications if I do some wild hair stream during the week. But other than that, if not, I will see you on Sunday. Please remember, every day I have videos coming out at 8 a.m. Whether it's Star Wars or some random game or a horror game, whatever. I always have something coming out at 8 a.m. a video. So check those out. Please try to link them and everything. But thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Stay golden and take care. Bye bye.